is missing.
Yo! Bum, 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 bum. Fun pop. Yeah, I'm missing my intro file from before, and I thought I'd have it. So anyway, sort of all the way back here with Fun Pop. We got some work to do still on some of the implementation of some of our stuff here. But yeah, Fun Pop is back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Fun Speculation and to this channel. For those that have been watching this channel for a few years at least, may remember Fun Pop because it was our movie, TV show, gaming / pop culture, everything podcast, and it just got a little too much to do everything with everything else we were doing, and so we put Fun Pop on the back burner and had retired it for, it's been over a year. It's like a year and 3 months or so without Fun Pop. And as much as we are gamers here, and all of us and friends, you know, with the Fun Spec fam, we're also all movie buffs and TV. We all love TV shows and Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and all this stuff. So what this show is a little bit of all of that and gaming talk as well. There will be some more of that probably than we had in the past. But this is going to be a great time, and I'm super excited that all of you guys wanted to do this again, because you don't have to, right? I just put the feeler out there. No, I was to say, I put the feeler out there. Hey, is anybody interested in doing Fun Pop again? And every single one of you is like, hell yes. Like Psycho was like about to have a conniption. I think he's got really excited. So, but I appreciate everybody in the chat who has turned up for the return of Fun Pop, and especially you guys for wanting to be part of it. So, but let's get into some intros for our first episode in 1 year and 3 months, around 15 months of Fun Pop. Psychonauts, what's up, dude?
It's an honor to be back. Yeah, can't wait to get into some of these topics we got tonight. Fun Pop is a show that we all loved and cherished, and it's great that it's back, and can't wait because there's been some really good shows and some really not good shows. So
yeah, it's interesting because I think things are in a different place than they were when we like ended Fun Pop like last time, especially with Marvel, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, Marvel was like pretty much
worse.
I guess you could say that. That's where I was going with it. But I mean, maybe there's some bright spots in there. We'll kind of recap some of the things that have been going on, you know.
not Secret Invasion.
What's up, Jasper? How you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, I was just kind of watching all the shows that I missed last week, so that's kind of what I've been up to before Starfield launched. So I was catching up on all the Disney shows, and that's pretty much what I've been up to for this topic show, or this podcast wise. It's just catching up because kind of put it off on the back burner since we weren't doing it. Didn't necessarily have to watch it.
Yeah. Your backlog starts piling up more. The same thing happened with me, dude, which is weird because I always would usually make time to watch all this stuff. The issue is that there's been so many shows, but there's also been way too many games, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying to divvy up your time, and then with work and all these other things, it's like, what do you really want to focus on? And then some of the shows that I used to be super excited for ain't hitting like they were, right? So it's kind of like, you can get to that one later if you feel like you need to get some missing plot pieces or something like that. But there has been a lot of catching up for me too. Specifically, last night I watched TMNT Mutant Mayhem, so I'll give my thoughts on that.
Ooh, nice.
And also, I've only seen one episode of Ahsoka so far, so I can't dive too deep into that. But we're gonna have some conversations on that. I also want to talk about Starfield because tonight's a monumental day for a lot of you guys didn't get the early access out there, and tonight is the official launch night for Starfield. So we'll have some conversations
player
about that.
high on Steam.
Did they? What is it now?
Yep, 250 just before the show started.
Right on. Sweet. It's gonna keep climbing. I think this weekend coming up, we'll probably see some of the highest numbers we've seen yet. And I'm curious how many people are playing on Game Pass right now. Like,
but I thought 200,000 people refunded that game on Steam. Everybody.
Oh yeah, there was some people say, "Oh, the player count's dropping." Oh, blah, 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 whatever. 3-Bit, what's up, dude? For those that don't know, also 3-Bit has a deep history with Marvel. Grew up as a Marvel kid because his dad worked for Marvel, and that's kind of what inspired him to get into all of his art stuff. So it's really cool having your take on this show specifically. But anyway, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, yeah, I mean, with people call that downfall of Marvel, that's a thing that people are saying, I guess. I still will always have like a deep love in my heart for Marvel, but weirdly, I have a weird love for DC as well. I've just in my house, it wasn't allowed. You are Team Marvel growing up, but yeah, I'm glad this show is back. It was like an outlet for us because like we talked a lot about like our gaming news on other shows and stuff, but we got to nerd out about like comics and movies that we don't always get to talk about. So yeah, really happy that this show is back. It's my girlfriend's favorite show on our thing because she actually understands what the heck we're talking about. And it's one of my favorites. So yeah, I'm glad the show's back. Hello everybody in the chat, and let's get going.
Yeah, man. Thanks to the chat here, everybody watching. And the channel's in a different place than it was last time. Like we've had a lot of growth over the last year and a half. So hopefully, you know, people that watch a lot of our gaming content and stuff will give this show a try as well, right? Like I said, there will still be gaming conversations in here, but it's honestly it's going to be mostly movie talk and stuff. But I do have an interesting topic for Starfield relating to that stuff tonight as well. Alvin hit us with a $5 super chat. Said, "FunPop is back. Random take. Demolition Man is the most underrated movie in 4 decades." Yeah, Demolition Man is fire, bro.
There was a Demolition Man game I played. I'm pretty sure. That's my memery.
Did they have a Demolition?
Is
it was like
Titanic 2 situation?
No,
I think
it was on. It was on.
Right.
It was on Sega CD, I think.
It was on Genesis. There was a Super Nintendo.
Genesis. Okay, maybe it was Genesis. Man, I thought it was Sega CD. I remember the box art was basically the movie cover.
It was Stallone and Snipes looking at each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I did say I wish the 3 seashells were in Starfield. I wish they would have like put that 3 seashells next to the toilets there. That would have been a really cool homage.
I want to say that I think Alvin mentioned Demolition Man the last time we did FunPop, so
really,
yeah. So
bringing it full circle. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This was a game.
I'm surprised your memory works back that far, Psycho.
Yeah, I know.
I don't. Yeah, that was random.
That's
my
the
brain
one
was
thing
like,
remembers about FunPop is Alvin's got it.
I don't remember.
Because he always mentions it.
Yeah, Demolition Man. Yeah,
he mentioned it quite a few times on FunPop. You know, I think we even had a conversation that led from that. So
he was like, "Hey, it was the most underrated movie then. It still is." So he's bringing it back.
That's interesting too, because FunPop is probably the show that we have always interacted with the most with the chat as well. I feel like just because like the interesting thing about FunPop too that I loved about it is like a lot of times we all are, except for Jasper, are of the same opinion in games a lot of times, and like we are all like on the same page and stuff, but like we've had more like heated debates and stuff on FunPop than like anything else, where we like are almost going after each other sometimes on like our takes on movies and shows and stuff like that. So 3-Bit in the chat especially goes after everybody who hates Tom Holland as Spider-Man. That's for sure.
Matt wants 15 fucking X-Men movies before they ever get.
I'll still go after them people who go after Tom Holland.
Yeah,
so
and FunPop was where Solo was the conversation that it was Matt's favorite.
I've retracted that statement after going back and watching it again. I couldn't even get through the first 30 minutes. I was like, what was I thinking? I must have been in like an extremely good mood the first time I watched it and was like, just like, oh, I love everything.
Laid.
You know what's funny, Mav?
Well, that's
I like changed my tune with that movie. It's like the opposite now.
What? Now
I
you love
actually kind
it?
of like it. Yeah, the
I
solo movie.
I know. I remember like
Yeah.
originally still thinking like
Did I?
it got better like halfway through, and then it got better and better as the movie went on. But like I don't know.
The
Yeah.
second half was a lot better than the first half. I will say that.
Yeah.
The second half was better. Definitely when Chewbacca was in the picture, and when you
Yeah.
kind of got the Sinister in the background, who was kind of like pulling the strings. Like when you found that out, then you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. You kind of want to see that go into something else, but it was just like a really slow and just really bad like puns in the beginning with Solo, and even Lando. Some of his quips were just like, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool, I guess. But
Um,
it got a little bit better, but that's still over.
Eastside Vandal, you said we don't need a Darth Maul cameo in Solo. I think that's like the best part of the movie is because it actually was exploring the world more.
Yeah.
Even like because in the comic books, people knew that Darth Maul took over all the syndicates and stuff. So like that was like an important part to that movie. So like I'm glad they put that in there. But
why so much Solo talk to start this
No.
podcast? Interesting. But
It's crazy they bring people like that back. Sorry.
yeah, we'll continue the
I just
Solo
had
conversation. Let's go.
I just had a random thought. Well, like all the people they've brought back in Star Wars, like they cut Darth Maul in half and he's still alive and stuff. But Qui-Gon, no, he gets stabbed in the stomach and he's dead.
yeah,
Why they
welcome to
gotta
Star
pick
Wars.
and choose?
Because he got stabbed. He didn't get cut in half. You get cut in half, you live. You can't live a stab.
But okay. It's like it's a stab, so I feel like you can like
See,
use space technology to
the problem
put a
is if you
hole
want to survive in Star Wars, you have to fall down a massive pit. That's the only way you live.
Either you fall
That's
down a
true.
massive
That's true.
pit, or you have part of your body completely cut off.
Yeah.
Whether it be an
Yeah, okay.
arm or torso.
If it's just an arm, then
or yeah,
because it'll just heat up and it'll like basically
it's cauterized instantly,
cauterized.
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unless there's any vital organs there, it's like who cares? You know?
True. That's true.
Right?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I just thought about that.
But this does bring me to Starfield and what I wanted to talk about because this is a huge game. It's doing massive numbers. In my opinion, probably one of the biggest travesties in Metacritic history is this game sitting below just mediocre good games, right? This is like an ambitious like masterpiece in my opinion. But anyway, whatever. The reviews and all that stuff are what they are, and mostly positive. But when playing Starfield, I always get vibes like there was inspiration here, you know. And Todd's talked about it in the past from like sci-fi movies and all these kind of things,
Books and stuff. I think he was inspired by.
So like, what I want to talk about is what in Starfield have y'all noticed like the most like inspiration from? And I'm curious because I think Jasper's gonna say Star Trek, but I don't know. Like, there seems to be like it's created its own unique world, right? That I think stands apart from all the rest of them, but it doesn't, and I think it's created a new space
style.
It's created a new space franchise that can go across multiple
that's
mediums.
hard to
I
pick
feel like
one because there's so many different like depending on the missions you do. It's like there's missions that was like very like inspired by Aliens that I played with the UC. There's like the whole Freestar stuff is kind of like a Westworld like kind of thing. Like, so it's. And then we're just like on a random planet and it's like barren. Like you hear like the music come over and it sounds like just one of those long shots in Star Wars where they just like kind of pan the landscape. So I can see inspirations in everything in Starfield. It's just
I see a lot of like I see there's some planets you get that Starship Troopers vibe with all the bugs and everything. So it's like and you have the guns and more than likely I think they got helmets and that kind of resemble those. But yeah, it's interesting to see all the pop culture that Starfield takes from like you guys said, the movies and the books, and everything. And I haven't gotten too far in the main storyline because I want to explore more and see what's out there. I'm doing a lot of the side stuff, and it's just very interesting. Like the Crimson Fleet is like the space pirates, which is kind of like I want to say movies from the 80s. I think it was called Ice Pirate, I believe, and they were in space, and that was their whole thing, was looting, and it's just great to see just a lot of stuff that pop culture that you get from playing Starfield that it's like triggers that memory, like, oh yeah, this kind of reminds me of this, and this kind of reminds me of that, and it's very interesting. It's really neat to have those kind of moments in with Starfield, and especially if you've looked, like, even was it Jaffe, David Jaffe?
Yeah, David Jaffe. Yeah.
And he's like freaking loving it.
Yeah, but he also said it was ugly.
He said his first few hours he was saying like this is bad or whatever. Now he's saying like it's not.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, like, you can have your critiques or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think, like, on Xbox, I've seen some NPC faces that are like, you know what I mean? But it's the scope and ambition of it. It's like there's so much beauty in the game. You know what I mean? It's
environments and the landscape, especially getting some of those sunsets, and everything's real time active, so everything's rotating within the universe at the same time. So if it takes longer for Saturn and the further out planets from the sun to rotate around the actual sun and stuff, you that's all real time. It's really interesting. But to me, I will say that you kind of get with what we've played. I put in a little bit over 50 hours, but get like what these reviewers that have criticized it the most, you get the feeling that they didn't put in more than a few missions in the game, and like, yeah, I'm done. Because that few, like I will say, the beginning part is a slow burn to start kind of get into what Starfield is, and then once you start exploring,
I literally don't get that.
I don't either.
It just opens up, just freaking opens up, and it gets the story, the things that you find, and I mean, like walking by like some NPCs. And it's like, oh yeah, there's somebody over here that will do something, has something or whatever, and then you figure out, you go over here, and then now you have this freaking mission, quest to go on, and you're like, just by walking by certain NPCs, it's just amazing. Just the possibilities of things that other people won't come across that you might, because you went to a certain place and they might not, and they'll be like, where'd you get that? Well, I went on this mission. Where'd you get that mission? So I mean, it's the possibilities are just freaking endless of different people having different experiences, and that's just what makes Bethesda games really, really great.
Game Shark member for 3 months said, in my opinion, Firefly is the biggest inspiration. Yeah, I can see that. Also, Game Shark with a $2 super chat says, also The Last Dragon is GOAT. Show enough. Right on. John TJ hit us with a $2. Says, oh hell yeah, FunPop. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, John TJ. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's back. We're back with FunPop. I think that you found an Easter egg, a Star Trek Easter egg or something.
Yeah, there's a couple more that people found that I looked up. One of the medics in Neon City, if you go up to him, he's like, I forgot what it's state the nature of your medical emergency, states that line. Vasco will be like, he says a data line. There's a cup, the Earl Grey tea, if you read the description, it says it's a favorite among captains. So there's a couple Easter eggs in there.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, go ahead, 3-bit.
Oh, I was just gonna say, in terms of inspiration, I think so I'm probably the furthest than you guys in this story.
In this, you are for sure. Yeah, I'm 25 hours into the game, and I've only done a few main missions, which I meant to mainline this game, but I got caught up with the Freestar Rangers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop because I'm I'm kind of getting very far, and I want to enjoy it a little bit, like the side missions and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm pretty far into the story. I would say like the story does really remind me of Interstellar in a lot of different ways. I would
See,
say,
that's the thing. Like, I think it depends on the quest you go down. Because I've had stuff that's like Starship Troopers. I've had stuff that's like aliens. I've had stuff
yeah, you're talking
that's
about
like,
side mission. I'm talking about like
yeah.
the main quest.
So would you say
Uh,
like maybe Interstellar's 300 years into the future, right? Because like, you know, in the plot of Interstellar, like Earth is dying because of the blight on all the crops and stuff like that, right? And that's their inspiration to need to find a new home, and that's where he's going to try and do, and what all these astronauts are. And they just finally got the technology thanks to the unknown beings or whatever that have created the wormhole that allow them to do that. Now, if you jump forward, like in this timeline, it starts at 2330, but like I think when they first colonized was around 2130, but I think it would have taken that necessity in the timeline to get everybody together to motivated to actually accomplish that goal. So it's kind of like if the Interstellar thing had happened, right? Maybe this is kind of the reality of what people's situation would be after finding actual planets they can
for sure.
habitate.
And it's hard for me to kind of point to reasons why I think Interstellar was an inspiration without spoiling, but I would say like um Interstellar I feel like was definitely inspiration at least at one point in the story. And then Firefly for sure with the ship crew and stuff and how it sort of feels like home when you can talk to them, and then like the more crewmates you get throughout the story, like there's this little girl you'll meet and she like likes books, and you can like give
I
her some
thought you
books
could.
as missions. And
I thought you could give her books, but you only give her like 50 credits. Like, so I had like,
oh, okay.
like I have like a stack of books I was gonna hand her just see what would happen.
Right.
She's like, nah,
Okay, yeah, I haven't given it to her yet. I remember seeing the dialogue or something, so I
Yeah.
started getting books. I didn't pay the thing. Yeah, it has a lot of interesting inspirations. Like certain cities, it's like it kind of fits with whatever you want to do. Like if you want to be like a spy sort of thing, I could see it getting stuff from different spy movies. There's the planet that's kind of cyberpunky, so I feel like it has inspiration of like
like
cyberpunk
Coruscant
there.
or Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Blade Runner. You could tell they just like it's a love letter. I even feel like Space Odyssey was 2001 Space Odyssey was definitely a inspiration as well. It's just a lot of little things that they put in there that I've been playing for probably not as much as you guys, but I've been playing for about 25 hours, which is a lot, but I feel like you guys are kicking my butt lately.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. You cannot and not. There's a lot of reviews out there right now that I feel like are not representative of the game. I feel like they're being very.
Well, they're focusing on the game as if it was a different genre. I feel like is the main.
I feel like they're over critiquing. Like if you look at the same reviewers, not even talking about the Dan guy. If you look at the same reviewers from other sites and how they critique similar games, I just feel like they are really hinging on things that have been in other games, and they haven't critiqued it as much. But I guess that's a separate.
To that effect, also, I feel like, and somebody made a comment. I was looking back, I can't find the name, but like, Starfield cemented this NASA punk vibe, right? Which they talked about, a lot leading up to the launch, which is just really original. You know, it has this kind of like futuristic, homemade, like grounded in technology aspect to it, where it's not like, okay, like
too futuristic,
right?
Like
the most amazing
grounded.
thing to see that seems really unbelievable is the grab drive, and you know, and that kind of stuff. Which who knows? Technology one day you could create something crazy like that. None of us could really fathom, except for Jasper, who's a nerd.
Oh, let me just go make one.
Yeah, I know. Just go make one. Yeah, if you do study enough of that stuff, you could probably figure it out. But there's a lot of like groundedness to it, even though it's like a space adventure, right? And um, as much as it takes inspiration from all these different things, and you can really point to, I think that it's more like I feel like they're paying homage to a lot of those space epics and stuff and franchises while they're forging its own path to create a different identity in the genre, because we've seen a lot of copy and pasted space tropes in movies and TV shows over and over and over again. And like you have all the space movies and it's like, okay, you're a crew on a ship and something goes wrong, everybody fucking starts going crazy and starting wanting to kill each other. Or, oh, they brought some kind of little alien life form on the ship, oh, now it starts transforming and trying to kill everybody. Or somebody gets on the ship somehow and starts killing everybody. It's always like the space movies, a lot of them are like, hey, it's a crew in space, something happens and goes wrong, and now you have to deal with that. And there's not a lot of, and I was trying to look for.
Well, you can't build an entire world in one movie.
I know, that's the problem, right? So I was trying to look for movies that would give that feeling of like a Starfield. There's really nothing out there. So like in biggest comparison I can have as far as like anything out there to Starfield, I think the right comparison to make is Mass Effect, right? Because they did a lot of world building with characters. They did a lot of exploration. You can get on different planets and look around, and you can do your little stuff here and there. Not anywhere near to the scale that you can in Starfield, right? I feel like they took some aspects of what Mass Effect did good, and they said, okay, well, wouldn't it be cool if you could also build your own ships? If you could also do a lot more on the planets, if there's a lot more to find on the planets, and there's a lot more colonization on the planets as well, or like remnants of it as well, and different things to find, where it adds for a lot more story that's off the beaten path. Whereas Mass Effect is more like direct, I feel like, with the story. Now there's a lot of like side quests you go on and that are inspired by your companions and stuff like that in Mass Effect, but this is like, you really do get that feeling like you're a Han Solo and you just get caught up in random stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're out there and, oh, you stumbled upon this. And it's like, well, hey, I'll do it for the credits, or I'll do it for this, or I'll do it for that. And that's where the RPG aspects come into it. But you still see the Interstellar inspiration. You see all these other movie inspirations because it really has that feeling. As also with the music, right? Like the music is
incredible.
Yeah, it's
especially
insane.
later on.
I feel like this would be like one of the best space soundtracks ever for space anything. I'm trying to think of other movies. Like Interstellar's soundtrack was great. You had 2001 Space Odyssey, had the classic down, 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 down. Yeah, that whole thing, right? But yeah. You have some. You have the Star Wars stuff. It's, obviously classic, but like I would put this up there with Starfield soundtrack with anything I've ever heard in this genre. Movies,
I really like
TV shows.
Interstellar soundtrack is like special to me. The feels I got, but I'm getting similar feels when I'm playing Starfield. Like I don't know if you guys have had this moment, but when you're playing Starfield and you're kind of just like on a planet, you just have this sort of moment where you're just like, dang, this is cool. Like you're like looting stuff and you're like looking through the planet. Like I could do whatever the heck I want. I don't know if you guys had that moment, but the music kind of kicks in. And on certain times when you're just looting, sometimes the music will like do certain things.
Yeah. The neon music on Neon is amazing.
I haven't even been to Neon yet.
You hate the city? Do you like the music or no?
I didn't pay attention to music in Neon City. I just hate that city so freaking much.
I haven't been.
What's wrong with that city?
You walk 4 feet, you go through a door, it's a load screen. You walk 4 feet, you go through a door, it's a load screen. Every fucking door in that city is a load screen, and you got to go through 15 doors to get to your objective. So I hate that fucking city.
One thing with Neon City, I feel like there's like narrow paths that go up and down, and then like there's the outskirts of one side and the outskirts of the other side, so you have to like traverse between those areas. But The load screens are only like 2 seconds for me, so it's like
Oh
so,
yeah, someone can play on PC when you fucking play on Xbox.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've
I
been
can't
playing on
wait.
PC.
I can't wait till you get to play it on PC, Jasper. I'm hoping that update hits soon for you.
Yeah, I know you would think so, but
Yeah.
It's Intel, so it won't.
Yeah.
But there was one, for instance, I was, it was a something. Oh, there was somebody was it was a doctor that was stuck, um, in a building, and she put out like a distress call or something along the line. I don't know if you guys came across this one yet, but and it was a creature that kind of it started off as a distress call, and then it came out. Then it turned into no. What was it? No, I was going to supply something for settlers. That's what it was. I was going to go supply something for settlers, and then it turned into a distress call because when I landed and was walking towards the settlement, and I'm like, there's fencing, buildings were destroyed, and then I got there. Then this lady was stuck inside the building, and she's like, "Be quiet, don't make too much noise, or it will hear you." And I'm like, "Bitch, what the fuck you talking about?" So I was sneaking outside because she says it over the PA. I'm like, "Bitch, that thing would hear you. What do you what do you mean I gotta be quiet? You're on the PA system blaring fucking to be quiet, and here you are." And so anyways, I went, talked to her, and then that turned into a rescue mission somewhere, and there was another SOS, and I had to, because I had to go take samples to Mars, and then the Mars
oh, you're
samples I
doing
had
a
to
UC
go,
mission.
yeah, so I had to go somewhere else, and then it was like I found this the space pirates were like infiltrating a base, and it was like Freestar Collective with the UC Marines, and it was just like this whole thing that it was just freaking nuts. And that story plot still is going on. I haven't gone into because I gotta now like come like say, hey, there's a new threat, and that it's gonna could wipe out humanity. So it's this whole thing that I gotta go and try to figure out. It's just freaking insane. And that's just because I had to go take supplies to some settlers, and then turned into this whole fucking massive thing that.
Well, the way that quest started is you sign up to be a UC member.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is I played this game on the Series S, and wow,
Impressive.
it performs very well.
Oh, but it's somebody
Surprising.
said because it's the same version as the Series X version. Oh yeah. No shit, man. That's what they've been selling you on entirely for the ecosystem. That it's just lower resolution and a lot of the same tech behind it.
Surprising
That's like
what that thing can do.
it's like I don't understand that even.
The Series X is
criticism
running the
or
Series
whatever.
I'll be
S
honest, my
version,
game on
guys.
Xbox is like killing itself. Like I don't know if like maybe it's just because I got so much shit now, but like my game has slowly been crashing more and killing itself. Like,
Yeah.
Really?
frames drops.
No.
And
You have to.
Mine hasn't been crashing at all in this. It crashed once when I first launched it.
You got a
but it's
gremlin in
been
there,
very...
Jasper.
No, Jasper, you have to reset the console, and so you can wipe the flash memory.
Jasper's having
cache.
issues.
You need
The
to
The
just-
cache is what is
PC
making the
having
problem.
issues with his Series X.
you need to not
going
store a
on,
million potatoes in your ship.
I don't have a million potatoes.
Okay. Anyway, inspiration wise, I feel like there's so many different things here, and I feel like in a weird way, I think Star Trek gives me a lot of the vibes. And obviously Star Trek has all the alien creatures and stuff like that and stuff. You know what I mean? But as far as like, you have your crew, and then you're going on different planets and exploring and seeing what's out there and stuff like that. That's definitely there. But as far as like the adventures you go on, I get more of like Han Solo vibes, right? And stuff like that, right? So
That's because you're doing the Freestar stuff.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Probably so. But even when I went on Neon and I was doing that stuff, I still felt like a lot of the decisions I was making, maybe I'm thinking like, because be honest, he's all in for the money usually, but he doesn't like hurting innocence, right? And maybe it's because a lot of the decisions I'm making are kind of in that
Oh, yeah.
realm.
Like,
You know what I mean?
usually when, like, the way I've been playing is, like, since I have so much money now, if someone asks me to pay them off for information, I just give it to them because it's like they're asking for $2,000 and I have, like, 500,000. I'm like, I don't care. Here's $2,000. Just
Right.
give me the information I want.
Yeah. The persuading too, like, I feel like you're trying to talk people into things a lot and stuff like that. They need to work on that system some. And I was wrong before. Like,
Yeah.
it does kind of turn when you get something wrong or when you get something right, even. I mean, so, but the overall, like, it's interesting to have those dialogue conversations and play that little game, while you're talking, because you're just like, you're trying to manipulate them in a way. And I kind of like that aspect. But overall, Starfield's amazing. Would y'all want to see this made into a show? I mean, we supposedly the Fallout show is going to be awesome. We have heard good things early about it. The Gears of War shows in the works as well. But I feel like this, in a way, would be hard to do right, because it would be really expensive. But
That's
I feel
where
like it'd
I'm
be
like,
worth it.
I don't know where they make it take place like during the game. I would say no. I think what they should do is they should do it before the game starts to give you more backstory.
Yeah, kind of like the
Right.
lead up.
Like the first,
From-
kind of like the first war starting or something like
Yeah,
that, a little
something
bit.
like that. Yeah.
It's an interesting thing here because that's a good take, Jasper. Because when I was thinking about this, right, I was thinking about more than a show. I was thinking about more than a TV show. I think what they've created here with this universe that they've built, with this world, with the lore and everything going on, I feel like they've created something large enough in scope with a lot of different possibilities and history and all this kind of stuff to tell individual random stories in it, like Star Wars kind of does.
Dude, if you go through the fucking, like, if you sign up for the UC, you go through like a little museum real quick. They have they cover like 4 different major battles that took place before the game even started.
So you could
Exactly.
have a movie that takes
was
place
nuts.
in that
Yeah.
area. You could you could watch a movie that takes as an explorer, like their adventures. You could, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many. You could have somebody like the Avatar almost type story based in Starfield, where the mechs were involved in a war. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different things I feel like you could do with Starfield in like TV shows and movies. And I feel like they could go there if they wanted to, but it would take a big commitment from Microsoft to push that. And I don't know if they will or not. Like, they're starting to do more Fallout, Gears.
This is the most I've seen them ever advertise, at least for Starfield. Like, this marketing campaign for Starfield, I think it's been their biggest in a long time.
I saw a commercial on TV the other day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like, what the heck? I think the closest that was probably to this marketing level was probably Halo 3, maybe. Halo 3 I remember that was massive as well. I seen it, like, it was the Mountain Dew cans. It was like on commercials all the time. I don't remember if the other Halos was just as big, but I do remember Halo 3's being pretty massive marketing campaign. So maybe that will lead into other productions. Maybe how it will start, Mav, is after the Fallout show. That'll be like the kind of start. They see how that performs, and they're like, okay, let's start doing more. I mean, they did.
They also know that this game's a huge game and it's going to last a long time. So like, it's worth them to spend all that money like on this.
I also,
whereas like other games it may not be.
I feel like in a way what they might do first is, instead of doing live action, they would probably do animated, because the cost of doing a live action space adventure epic story in multiple episodes in either movie or TV show format would be a lot more expensive as opposed to doing an animated thing, right? So if they did like animated to try and tell the stories, to like see how much interest there is and really focus on the story elements and stuff like that, they could maybe grow from there. I just want them.
If
I
they
want it to see
do,
done right story wise, because there's so many awesome stories you could tell. I mean, it's there in like books and lore all over the place. You could individually pick this random lore from Starfield. You could make a whole movie out of it or a whole TV show season. You know what I mean? It would be pretty damn awesome for me.
Yeah.
if they do anime, I want to. They should go pick up the Clone Wars people because Disney just closed that studio down a couple months ago. Like, go do
It'd
that
be
and make
cool
a
to
Clone Wars
see
style. I don't
that.
like anime is like tough. I don't. There's some styles I
Yeah.
just can't watch. It's
What
like,
would y'all rather have it like animated or live action?
I would rather it be live action.
It
I would rather be
depends.
animated. Live action
See,
takes way too long. We've seen Halo. We've seen all these other productions where it ended up being terrible. But there with cartoons, at least there's a little bit of leeway. I
They
mean, it'd
could
be
do-
cool to see live action, but I
I
don't know.
think if they did the main story live action and then like sub stories animated, so they can tell more of what's going on, they can get through more of it. Kind of like if they, like with the UC, the Freestar Collective, they can kind of like do their backstory, how everything came up, and even going with the with whatever the artifacts unlock. I don't know what it does yet, but they could even touch on that and do an animated. So there's so you can blend the two. It's kind of like how Star Wars, kind of like how well, kind of DC or Marvel kind of doesn't do it too well, but it's like DC or Marvel with their movies, with their TV shows. The TV shows expand on the lore and what things could happen within the universe. So this way it sets up the movies better so they can tell more, go on into the movies more without doing that whole backstory and then go into the movie. So this way that you can get more of the story of what all the action and everything sooner than later. So
I mean,
that's what I would
if
like
they
to
do
see.
live action, give it to HBO because HBO is the only one that's fucking balling out cash on shows like Game of Thrones is like hundreds of millions. Like fucking HBO is the one that throws down money for shows like this. Like, give it to HBO.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
cheap
true.
out and give it to Paramount.
Well, like Netflix would be okay. I mean, Netflix does some good things, but I will
One
say more than all of them,
Rebel Moon.
Prime. I love stuff on Prime. Like the shows that are on Prime are great. And
I like Apple TV too. They've been
Apple
doing
TV is
some
great
stuff.
too.
Fuck Apple.
Yeah, but
With Apple
I'm sorry.
Apple TV's been killing it with some of the shows, man. Like like we watched Silo. Kate was just talking about it in the chat, and Silo is absolutely great. I can't remember. There's also Ted Lasso was on Apple TV, which was really good. There's some great stuff there. My favorite though for like original content though is Prime. I mean, they had the Jack shows, Jack Ryan. They had Jack Reacher, which is great. The Terminal List that has Chris Pratt in it.
Yeah, but I'm just
is
saying, like, I don't know
amazing.
if there's not too many of those companies that give you like $200 million budgets for shows. Like
Right,
HBO is kind
yeah.
of
Well, Amazon
and you
Prime.
need a huge budget if you're doing a space show to
Well,
like make it look
Expanse
good.
is on Prime too,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, they've
Expanse is
done it
probably-
before.
Yeah, I was gonna say Expanse is really close to Starfield that I'm seeing with the different factions. You got the spacers, the people that are they're kind of like the the Martians, the whatever that lady with the raspy voice, I forget what she's on. They're like the Earth colony or Earth whatever. They're kind of like the UC, and it's just really interesting to see, like, watching that and then playing Starfield, and it's just like, I'm like, oh, that's if you're gonna watch a show and that the Expense is probably the closest thing, because it has to deal with some alien artifact as well, so that it's just really cool to see how that show. So, and that's what Prime. So I could
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
see.
I
them
watched
do something.
episode 1 of Foundation on Apple TV, and it is like, okay, there's like different colonies in space, and the people live on different planets and stuff, and like in the first episode, and this isn't too spoilery because it's just in the first episode, but the motivation there is that basically the government that's controlling things is like in danger of collapsing, and there's like mathematicians that have kind of predicted this based on like events because like they're very good with science and
Sounds like
predictions.
the 100.
So they are basically where it left off for me was they were sent off to a planet to keep it secret while they try and come up with solutions, right? To keep basically this event that's going to cause humanity to be like in peril, right? In space. So that's a really interesting story so far, and I'm still early on in it, and I plan on continue watching that show. But there's so many good examples like I feel like you could do with Starfield, especially with the style that it has. I agree with Jasper. I would love to see live action. I'm just trying to think about like I want it done in the right way and not like a shitty cop out version, right? So it would take a massive budget to accomplish. Like I look at that live action TV trailer they had and how beautiful that was, and their take on space right there with just the colors and everything was like it was insane. But what if they did like an anime style sort of like Edge Runners, right? Because that was huge for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
that's
personally would really like it, like if they did a cartoon or an anime, just because I mean I really like anime and cartoons and stuff, but it gives them freedom to kind of go with where they want with the story, I guess. With live action, you have big budgets and stuff, and unless it is a HBO Max or WB, everything is kind of weird right now with live action as well, with the film strike going on. Like it's starting to hit
That
game
delayed the
developers as
Fallout
well. And
show, didn't it? I feel like
Well, the Fallout show's been in the works for 15 years, it
everything,
seems like.
yeah, but I felt like there was
everything
some
is
story
delayed.
about it being pushed back even further because of this.
Yeah, it's hitting pretty much everybody. So even like I think HBO put out a statement today or yesterday saying that they're gonna lose like 500 million this year because they can't work on movies and shows and stuff. So they just have money sitting there until this strike is over, which I'm kind of glad for. This strike kind of needs to happen, regardless. But I don't know. I feel like it'd be interesting to see Starfield cartoon that kind of dives into the history of what we saw on the website, like seeing all that, like how like where Earth was, what happened when everybody sort of left Earth and went to other planets, and like the different groups. I think it would be very cool to see. Maybe every episode is like the different faction, and maybe like a Halo Wars, not Halo Wars, but that Halo cartoon show where every episode is like kind of a different perspective, a different story.
I hate that format.
If
And
we're gonna do
You
that,
don't?
do it
Okay.
yeah, Star Wars has done
seasonal
that
based.
too. I like a long continuing story. I hate
Yeah.
the things with like several different.
If it's long continuing, then I would just do live action. But if it's cartoon, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's
you
cool.
would
It's
wanna do
cool
more.
in a vacuum. Like, oh, this was a great experience, but you can't continue that like for a long time and just continue doing stuff. Like
I feel that.
Star Wars did that too as well with like a lot of the anime studios, which is cool. People may find, oh, that one thing was awesome, right? But like, I prefer something where if it's a show, you can start in season 1, and if it's successful, you get like 6 or 7 amazing seasons, and it just continues this long story. The other thing, if you were to do one where it's like individual stories told, and you wanted to do it that way, you could do it in a way like where each season is its own story, right? You could call like Starfield stories. You could say that way you could have like a 8 to 10 episode long drawn out story that feels fulfilling, right? And then the next season you could jump off somewhere else. Like there's shows that have done that before too, which I
or
do
if it's
like.
successful, like if you have like a 3-season show and like maybe one of the characters starts getting more popular, stands out, you can have them do their own spin-off show. Like maybe they like start going as
Yeah.
like the Freestar Ranger spin-off show or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, Microsoft's got some massive IP now, dude. You know, like with acquisition of Bethesda, you got Elder
Honestly, a Conquer
Scrolls.
show.
You have
A
now
Conquer show would be good.
Starfield. They got Fallout. They already have Gears. They got Halo. They have the makings to have their own big giant like franchises in more than just gaming, right?
Yeah,
Halo's
so let's make
already
a Halo
crossed
show
over.
and then not do anything that has to do with Halo in it. That's cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, we have disagreements on the Halo show. I take it as a separate story and it's a separate timeline, and I enjoyed it for what it is. But like, it could have been better, different. Yeah, sure, it could have. And but like that Halo show could be one thing. You could do a whole nother Halo thing, right?
Yeah, I see it the same way. I mean, I'm a diehard like Halo fan, but I saw it as like a separate thing, and it was cool to finally see Master Chief in live action, but also
But I'm tired of seeing Halo stuff as a separate thing. So I want it to be.
Yeah, you want
you
to
want to
see
see
mainline
like this.
story,
Yeah,
right?
which I completely agree with. I would rather have seen that, but it was still cool to kind of see like Master Chief freaking.
I think they
fight
kind of
stuff.
went around. I think they kind of did that. Excuse me. I think they kind of wanted to do that to kind of gauge people's emotions. Because if they went straight into straight lore of the game and they didn't do it right, they're gonna bitch about it because they left this out or they left that out. Going this route, they can
Yeah, I mean that's why they
gauge
did
people's
it.
intentions and then go into the second season with more things that are, the flood or
Oh, you don't want
Chief.
you. I thought
The
season 2 was
Chief.
going to be all Quan Ha. That was our favorite
Uh,
character in the show.
Oh yeah, I love her. With Chief not talking, not taking off his helmet, or not talk, but talking, but not taking off his helmet. We'll see how this second season goes, but
Yeah.
um,
Or at least as little as Pedro Pascal does it in The Mandalorian, right? Like he takes it off,
yeah,
right? But it's
at one
90% of the
instance.
time it's like on, right? Jax
because
80,
he knows what's up.
right? Jax 82 with $5 super chat says, in Starfield I had a bounty on me. I asked why. He says, let's just say your mother did it. What?
Oh,
What did your mother do? I saw somebody also post where their parents
their mom
were
was
at
at
the
a club.
club in Neon, and they were like,
Yeah.
"What? I'm not doing anything illegal."
Your parents are Star Trek voice actors. It's Tim Russ and I forgot the other chick's name, but she played the Bajoran Major in Deep Space Nine.
Who plays the voice of Sam Coe? Because his voice is really familiar.
Adam Jensen
What else has he done?
and
Everything.
that Adam like in Deus Ex, the main character.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, man, this
Pong
voice is
actually
like.
told me that one.
I was like, that voice is so familiar, man. I feel like I know it, like from.
Yeah, when I was like, what the heck? Why does he sound so familiar? And Pong was like, that's the dude from Deus Ex. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
There was one guy, I think it was like maybe last night or the night before when you were streaming Starfield. There was like some just random dude you were talking to, like just like a shopkeeper or something. It's like I recognize his voice because he's Dempsey from the Call of Duty Zombies. So
When I was
like,
playing?
No, when Matt was playing.
Oh, man, okay.
Okay, so Adam Jensen is the Deus Ex character. It's not the name of the actor.
Yeah, that's what I was
Right,
trying to say.
okay,
I was
yeah.
like, that's the Deus.
I was like,
Deus Ex.
I mean,
I don't know the actor's name.
Right, Elias Tufixis. I feel like a Canadian voice actors played characters on TV and video games, mostly in science fiction and fantasy games. Okay, so he was a supporting character in Splinter Cell. And he's Adam Jensen in Deus Ex. He was also the main. He was Jason Brody in Far Cry 3.
Oh, main character. That's the main character.
That's like the most popular Far Cry game of all time. Pretty much, like it really launched it into the another stratosphere. Okay, that makes sense. He also played the lead role in Far Cry Primal. That's interesting. Yeah, that's
Nice.
cool, man.
Yeah, when I was hearing, I was like, "Dang, that voice sounds super familiar." And
Good voice actor.
even Sarah sounded super familiar, but she's been in a lot of stuff. I don't know all of it, but she's cool too.
Yeah, Sarah Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of really good voice acting in Starfield. I feel like, and that's just kind of the stuff that doesn't get talked about enough. I feel like it's like all the people ever say about it is, "Oh, you can't land your ship," or you know, there's not enough space stuff. Like everything's in space. I don't anyway.
Like, I flew 7 hours and I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the point we talked about a long time ago is like, yeah, you could probably fly there, but why would you want to? You know, they would have to make it kind of unrealistic in a way.
But that's where I feel like this game is kind of a letdown because like a lot of the space stuff is like kind of pointless.
But yeah, that's like space.
It's
right?
like
yeah, but you could do stuff with that. If you actually had travel distances, like you could do crazy stuff with like maybe you could like run cargo from a planet, and then while you're running the cargo, you get attacked. That's an event you could do, but instead there's no space stuff. You just teleport to planets.
There's missions that
there are
literally
space
happens.
No, okay.
Yeah, there's space combat. Wait, hold on.
It's only
there are space.
Right.
No.
There are space combat things that do happen.
All right.
Let's be clear with that.
I was
But
jumping. I will say I'm sorry. Go. Sorry.
No, you
got
got
excited. No, so I was doing a mission. I was going to just recently. I was just going to see what's up with Barrett. Went back to the planet, and I found out his coordinates where he went because something happened. And as I was jumping I came out of jump space, and there was a combat that was going on around the orbit of the planet I was on. So it triggered an event of me.
Yeah, I've done that like 17 times, but it's only around planets. That's my problem. Like,
well, I
there's
feel
nothing. There's no interactions in space.
Well, there's space stations.
Flies for 7 hours to Pluto. You might find it.
So here's the way I think about it. Right, like if this was to be grounded in somewhat of how it would actually work. If it was to be
grounded in reality with space travel, you would have space lanes like you do airplanes. They all fly on the same path. That way, you'd have more interactions in space. That's how it would work.
But you would also not fly from one planet to the other. You would have to do the grav jump stuff because otherwise it would take way too long.
And you could get intercepted.
And a grav jump?
Pull out a grav jump. Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about the new Star Wars, like freaking Last Jedi? like that grav jump, that was terrible. We've seen how that worked, and that was like
Star Trek. That's Star Trek stuff he's
talking about. He's thinking of Star
Trek. Because the new movies, because he had this massive the USS, I don't know what the hell it's called. It was massive, and it followed the Enterprise through the jump space, and it pulled it out, and it was like, oh shit, what do we do now? And then it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
My whole thing is just like, I get what Jasper is saying, but I feel like where they decided to go with the pipeline for their game is just like prioritizing how they handle sections of like their cities, of their worlds, and even space. Like space is technically a separate section from like you landing, so there will be like random events, random things that do happen. Like you go in space station, you can dock and do different stuff. You can hijack another ships in space and stuff like that, but you can't you're not technically flying to another planet and stuff.
I just feel like the space kind of stuff is like, it's almost just like you load into space to then just load to the planet or whatever you're going to. It's like just an in-between load screen that's pointless because you don't really do much a lot of the time. A lot of time it's just you jump to the planet, it's like, oh, I gotta scan you, cool, and then you jump to the fucking planet. It's like you just wasted 5 seconds because you had to scan me for an event that doesn't really matter because I'm not carrying contraband anyway. So it's like I just wasted 10 seconds. It's just a bunch of time waste stuff there. And it's like,
I mean, if you want to, if your goal is to go to another planet, then yeah. But if you want to get like resources for your ship, or if you want to like go to different stations that's in outer space, then I feel like kind doesn't make up
then you
for it.
jump
But
into the system and then you hit X to dock on a space station. It's a load screen. It's an interactable load screen. It's like
yeah,
you
but
don't do
okay,
anything.
if like okay,
So-
so if you had your way of doing things, then it's kind of like yes, a lot of things are disguised as load screens, right? But I feel like the caveat of that of doing such a massive game where you could put freaking thousands of potatoes on your ship is like No Man's Sky, where things are a lot more smaller and condensed. So it's kind of like you pick and choose. I don't think it's always possible to do all of
Like,
it. Maybe it is.
These
Maybe you
planets are
can do
actually
everything all at once
on a massive scale. Like each like plot you have is like the same amount of land as like Skyrim.
Yeah, but he's talking about
stuff.
the outer space.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm
aspect.
saying is the scale of space is more like they try and be more realistic with what it would be like. I feel like so. You know, you can fly to another planet, but like it would take a week, or like in game time, or like 7 hours is what it took Lana Pierce to fly to.
They could have
Pluto,
changed. They could have made the game where there's stuff you do in between that, and it also doesn't take a week to travel. Like they could have.
Yeah, I feel like stuff's
made the
happening
game different to where
I don't know.
space is more eventful, and
Well,
it's just
for me, like the orbit around the planets is probably where the most traffic would be in space, and that's also where I'm having a lot of like activity. I'm having a lot of activity around the planets, like personally. Like every time I grab jump to like a system, first thing I do is I look around, right? I see what kind of ships are out there. Sometimes I'll hail one or whatever. Sometimes a random event will hail me. I see if there's like a space station there. Sometimes there's a space station out there in the orbit, and if there is, I see what it is. Like, do I want to go check that out or not? And then sometimes there's people there that want to attack you as well, and then you get into fights and stuff like that. So I'm kind of having the opposite experience that a lot of people are with the space stuff, but I get if people want more space where you're flying around and doing things. I get that, but I don't know if that's the kind of game that this is. I feel like it's not just a flying around your ship exploration space game. I feel like it's a grounded world, like universe, where they try and make you do the things you would probably be doing, like in that world. And like for me, like if I was to think of how it would work, I would take off into the orbit, and then I would plot the course, and I'd grab jump, and then I would get close to that planet, and then I would orbit and then land, right? So that's kind of what they recreated with that, but I feel like a lot of people want you to be able to fly directly from planet to planet a lot, and which would be cool, but that would inherently change the whole grab jump thing, and you would have to control your ship, and it would shrink the scale of everything as well.
Yeah, my main thing was like,
I think that would expand.
So what's your main gripe,
Jasper? Everything would have to be closer.
I want to kind of know
your ship go fast.
wait. Okay, so what's your main? I want to know Jasper's main gripe, so I can kind of understand, because like I get the fact like there are a lot of loading screens in this game. It doesn't bother me as much because I'm on PC, so maybe it is bothering you a little bit on Xbox. But what's the main thing? Like you feel like you can't completely like travel to the different planets? Like what's the main?
Not just that. I feel like a lot of it is just like in Fallout, like if you play like Fallout, like you just keep going to different stuff. Whereas this is like you go to a planet, you take 5 load screens to get to that planet to wherever you're going to, and then you get there and you pick up one fucking thing, and then you have to go 5 load screens back to the other fucking planet you went to. It's like, make me do something in between besides fucking load.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I feel that there's a lot of loading screens from you getting on your ship, and like getting on the ship, you put the location in, you're in space, you're in the spaceship, and then you go to another planet. I get that. Maybe I enjoy it a little bit just because when I'm in space, like what Matt was saying, I do see random things, and I don't know, I find that's pretty cool. But if you want to just, I think you can also just jump from planet to planet, can you not? Like at least with that, like
yeah,
you can fast travel from
straight jump to a landing site on a planet. You don't have to go.
Yeah, so at least you can do that if you didn't want to go in space.
I'm
Because
not
I
even
don't think
like
it's the type of game. It's not the type of game where, because what reason why I probably have a little bit of a gripe with this, because a lot of people have this thing where they're like, I want this to be Elite Dangerous. I want this to be No Man's
Yeah.
Sky, and it's not that at all. Like it just has different ways of approaching. Like it'll take some
see,
ship combat from
the
Elite
thing is, like,
Dangerous
if
and things,
say you
but
like wanted to run cargo, like you don't do anything if you run cargo. You pick up the cargo in
Mhm.
space or wherever, and then you load to another orbit and you deliver the cargo. There's no interaction in delivering the cargo. There's no game there. It's just you pick it up, you deliver it. There's
They
no
probably
let's
have
drive it somewhere.
people trying to attack you when you have the cargo or whatever, and then you have a space combat mission or something like that. Like,
But you're a cargo ship.
well, not if you have your ship and you're carrying cargo, or like it just I don't know. I get that. I also think there's been way too much discourse about those aspects in this game, because that's almost like everything you hear out there, like from some of the discourse when people are talking about Starfield, and it's like they're not focusing on all the amazing stuff that Starfield has that doing those other things would have been a trade-off for. So for me, it's not a big thing, but I get some people want to have that there.
And
But does that make it a
someone
7?
said I was
No.
someone said I was rushing the story. I'm not rushing the story. I've only done 4 main story missions.
Yeah.
The way I'm doing
Jasper's
it
just
now,
going exploring everywhere.
I'm rushing the story. I'm actually have to slow down. I'm ahead of everybody here probably, and I'm
100%.
loving the
Yeah.
story. I actually
trying
recommend
to,
someone
like,
plays parts of the story, but yeah,
when
go
I'm
ahead.
doing the side quest now, like I don't even want to jump off the side quest because I know that if I start doing other stuff, like I'm gonna have to go through more fucking load screens. So I'm trying to just stay on this mission I'm on instead of like get overwhelmed now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
No,
like,
I mean I like the fact that he has a kind of an opposing opinion, because it's just different. I don't always like people agreeing. I think I agree with the loading thing. I think there is a lot of loading in this game, but I don't know. It's not bothering me as much right now because I think I'm just really
I
invested.
had my
I'm
game
still
break
learning.
5 times on Xbox where I get an infinite load screen and nothing happens.
Got you.
you're
Yeah.
having a different experience than any of us have had. Like, your game's
Yeah.
not working on your PC with your Intel with GPU. Your Xbox is having problems, and I haven't heard anybody really talking about as well. So I feel like something like with your experience has so far been like just off compared to what some of us have had, which may add to some of the frustration for sure. Alvin hit us with a $5 super chat. Said the Starfield discourse is like when people complain that Peter Jackson left out half the ending from the Lord of the Rings book version after that epic. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
there's so much ambition and scope and quality here that it's like hard to nitpick for me on the things it doesn't have, because I'm more focused on what the game is and what they
I feel like
achieved
that's what
with
those
it,
reviews
right?
mostly do. Is like
They're comparing
do
it to No
ignore that
Man's
stuff.
Sky and Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen and those kind of games, when it's not those kind of games. It should be more compared to another space RPG like Mass Effect, right? In my opinion, but it is what it is. We need to move on past Starfield. So, because we're like an hour and 15 minutes in, and that's all we've been able to do is talk Starfield, which is, I mean, this is Starfield launch
Great
night.
game.
Starfield
Game of
launch
generation.
night, and it's crazy. I agree with 3-bit. It is my game of the generation so far. Baldur's Gate 3 would be right behind that.
Definitely
for
jumped to
me.
my top 10. Like it was my top 10. Sorry, we'll stop talking about it, but it was definitely it definitely hit my top 10. Probably like 6 hours in, but now that I played 20 something hours, it's definitely up there. So I do recommend, last thing, I do recommend you guys play at least a portion of the story just to get something I can't talk about. There's certain things in the story, and then get off of the main story and go back to what you're doing. That's my opinion.
I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm in the Freestar Ranger stuff a lot right now. Vic the
I'm not
mother,
even near that.
Vic
We're
the
done.
motherfucking click with the $2 super chat says Jasper age is showing. So impatient. That's funny.
It's just immersion break. It's immersion breaking. Like I can't ever just get sucked in because like in 5 seconds I'm gonna have to go through another fucking 10-second load screen. So it's like I don't know. It just breaks the immersion.
Don't
constantly.
think of it as a load screen. Think of it as fast travel. Because that's what it is.
It's a black screen.
It's
when I go through a fucking door into a shop, I'm fast traveling.
I think your Xbox is broken, dude. Like your load screens must be really long or something.
Because
like
do you get the pictures of the loading screens? Do you get like your pictures that you took for your loading screens?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes it's just a black screen.
Really? Like how long does the black?
Wow, your Xbox is broken.
If it's just a black screen, it's like the longer load screens. It's like 15 to 20 seconds.
Holy
if I get
shit.
the pictures, it's like fucking 5.
I've never had like a 15 to 20 second load screen in Starfield. Even on playing on Xbox.
Yeah, mine's like 4 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe.
You need to reset your cache or some shit. I feel like your experience is wrong here. To where like for me like the load screens are like that, and it's like, oh, I just traveled here, like an instant jump drive or like whatever, and then like I land on the planet, it's like 2 seconds later. Like, oh, cool.
I'd be pissed too if my loading screen was 10 seconds.
Oh, no shit. If I had like a bunch of 15, 20-second load screens.
I'd probably be Jasper right now if my loading screen
was. I would be like, this game sucks. All it is loading screens. I don't know. You need to like go reset your cache or some shit. I was playing on Series X last night, or earlier today actually, for a few hours, and like I was going from different planets and stuff. It was like that, dude.
That's where I'm wondering, like, because it seems to be getting worse. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting more shit and progressing.
I don't think so.
Unlocking more stuff.
I think your Xbox is fucked, man. I think you need to go. Where is it installed? Is it installed on your? Do you have like a Seagate drive?
Yeah, it's internal. I don't have an external.
An internal. Right yeah, I reset. Like Psycho said earlier, try resetting your cache or something. Because it would bother me a lot more if it was like that. 15, 20 seconds.
Because you're experiencing longer load times than I am, and I do a lot of grab jumps, and I think the grab jumps are like 7-8 seconds, and with pictures and everything. So I don't know, man. Yeah, something.
I mean,
that would break.
That would break. You can't discredit what he's saying. It sucks.
No,
but, like,
if I was experiencing what he's experiencing, yeah, I would be fucking like, what the fuck? This sucks. But from what I have,
like, I kind of forget about the loading screens because it's maybe like 5 seconds. Like it's like, oh yeah, let me just do this real quick, and that's for me. But I do a mixture of PC and Series X. But even in my Series X, it was like still pretty fast.
And even then, I haven't seen any black screens either.
When you does it do the same thing when you open up doors, like airlock doors?
Airlock, like regular airlock doors, like.
Yeah, when you're going from outside inside.
If it's a loading screen door, then I get sometimes those loading screens are pretty quick, but a lot of like the shop stuff, those are pretty quick. But like when you like, I guess load into like a
planet,
or like the elevators down where it has to load an entire like sub map or something, those kind of take a little bit of time. But
really,
oh okay. That's weird.
Yeah, I would definitely clear your cache and hopefully
anything in a city, like even Neon, hasn't been more than like 5 seconds for me. Like
but they got a lot of like 4-second doors, and then once you go through like you go through a door and you run 4 feet, and then you go through another 4-second door, and then it kind of pisses me off.
Those doors for me are 2-second doors on PC. Hopefully the experience helps for you when Intel actually gets their shit together and puts up some drivers for the game. Vic, the motherfucking click again with $2 says, Jasper, you cursed, give it up. Spartan661 hit us with 5. It says, I created a character of my wife to get her interested in gaming other than Switch. She gets to decide on most of the decisions as I'm playing. Help me. Oh my God. That reminds me, Kate had been over encumbered, and she was like, could barely move without going red on the, and so she like dumped her shit out on the ship, and like there's just like pots and pans and dishes and like I even think I saw a toilet. I didn't even know you could pick up.
You had a bunch of like
You picked up a toilet.
dumb-
I don't
Dumbbells.
know. I could have swore I saw a toilet fly out there. Like she was carrying dumbbells.
Like-
It was like carrying like 7 dumbbells. Like that's like 10 pounds each or some shit like that. It's absolutely hilarious. Anyway, yeah, amazing game. But let's get into some other talk here because this is FunPop and we've just had FSP probably for about an hour and 20 minutes. Besides that, we did talk about inspiration in movies and TV show with Starfield as well. But something else that has been positive in the Star Wars universe recently is Ahsoka, which is the newest show from Star Wars on Disney Plus, which has been hit or miss so far. I gotta admit I still haven't finished Mandalorian season 3 because it kind of lost me. I love the first 2 seasons. Third season, like I'm episode 3 in, and I kind of got bored with it.
Season 3 was better than 2 for me.
Was it? I got to go back and finish it. So I don't know where Ahsoka fits in with the timeline here. Does it pick up?
They're around the same. They take place at the same time. It's just
Okay.
different part of the universe.
Right. So, Ahsoka, I've only watched the first episode so far. I watched it a few nights ago, and I gotta say, it was pretty cool, man. I really liked the first episode. I guess there's been criticism about Sabine Wren, but I liked that character. I thought she was pretty cool. Even more than Ahsoka in the show. I like where that story could potentially go. And I think they got some good villains and stuff in there as well so far. So, have you checked out Ahsoka yet, 3-bit?
No.
Okay. I know
But
that the reason I asked you first because I know that Psycho and Jasper have.
Yeah. I haven't, but kind of watching it in the background right now.
Oh, are
So,
you? While you're on the show, cool.
Like right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
How can you hear it? You can hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, not really. I have
Oh,
subtitles.
that's a great way to watch a show. Yeah.
Great experience.
Yeah.
True. Like
Just like because I know you guys are going to spoil me somewhat, so why not spoil myself just a little bit?
Yeah.
So
I never watched
first
the
2
animated Star Wars stuff. So
yeah, the
I
first 2 episodes dropped the same night, so those are 2 weeks old now.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I just kept missing it for some reason, but I'm excited to check it out.
But I've
I've always wanted to see a show about more Jedis and Obi-Wan.
I've
Yeah, so-
heard a lot more positive talk about this show than I have other
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars shows, especially from Psycho because Psycho like
Yeah.
trashes everything. Star Wars, Disney Plus, pretty much.
Not Mandalorian, but pretty much the movies. Episode 7, 8, and 9.
Did you watch
7 wasn't too bad.
Did you watch
but
Andor?
8 and 9 trash.
I couldn't finish that.
I couldn't finish it.
Was it
as well.
boring or?
Yeah, it was boring.
For me, it just wasn't as riveting as Rogue One. You know,
Yeah.
Rogue One was really riveting. It kind of like I love Rogue One is probably one of the best movies that they came out with post George
Yeah,
Lucas
that movie's awesome.
new Disney era. But yeah, I'm loving Ahsoka. A couple of people have mentioned in chat already, but yeah, it
People
pretty much
love Andor.
picks up after Rebels, so I want to now go back and watch all 5. I think it's 5 seasons of Rebels.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
In between playing Starfield and working, so it's gonna be. So I might put Rebels on at work to kill time, just to
Yeah.
get through that pretty quickly and kind of get the lore, because the Sabine and the Teak chick, forget her
Hera.
name already, Hera, and her brother. Oh fuck, what's the brother? The main kid in Rebels.
Ezra.
Ezra, yeah, Ezra. I should have remembered that because I watched The Flash the other night, and that was.
Well, that's not
my
my
God.
brother.
No, but I'm just saying Ezra.
Ezra
was-
Miller.
was in my head. So yeah, and it was very interesting.
seen The
Like-
Flash.
I know that the
Let's not go in that yet.
I know.
Zed, I think is his name. The purple like monkey looking dude that's in the Rebels. He was in the Mandalorian. He made a cameo in that, like
Mm-hmm.
like 5
Yeah.
seconds. Zek?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. It's very interesting to see how, and of course, it's David Filoni that directed and
All the
wrote.
episodes, or
Everything
Oh.
so far, it's been David Filoni. So I
Cool.
think they let him take the reins on this one, and that's why it's really good. The fights are really freaking good. I won't go too much. There's really good things that kind of pop off with what has happened in the past. So you kind of have to wait and see to see who is coming if you don't know
Yeah.
yet.
Well, I mean, they tell you
So-
who's coming. But
Yeah, but sometimes people forget. So it's really cool. They're making this canon. It's really cool where they're going with this show, and I really hope that this branches off to many more of really high quality Star Wars shows and movies. So we see Filoni and we see Jon Favreau. They can write and direct very well in the Star Wars universe. You look at Mandalorian and now Ahsoka, probably the two best Star Wars produced movies or not movies, but TV shows that they have done. Everything else has been a little bit
So
on the weaker
far-
side.
so far, Ahsoka's the best Star Wars show they've made. Like Mandalorian, like it was good the first season, but it wasn't. I thought they would get rid of Baby Yoda eventually, but they never did. Baby Yoda ruins that show for me.
That is I think that is the marketing fucking
Yeah.
employee of Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy.
Grogu became so popular. It's like
yeah,
like you ever watch Family Matters, right? Back in the
No,
day,
but-
like
Whatever happened?
predictability. Anyway, there is Urkel came on an episode, right? He was like a guest character or whatever, like a neighbor that came on, right? But the response was so positive that it became the Urkel show, right? Which, like that was great. Like everybody loved it and stuff, right? But I feel
except
like
for the actor.
Jaleel White,
Yeah,
I don't know
fucking
anything.
hated it.
Did he? Well, anyway, besides it gave him a career, so he could be thankful for that, I guess. But besides that, like with this, I feel like that was kind of what happened with Grogu. Like it probably like they were gonna tell the story, and it was like, oh my god, the world went fucking Grogu ape shit crazy. So now it's like it has to be the cornerstone of the whole story. I could be wrong. It could have been always planned that way. It just didn't feel like it was at first, but
Yeah.
It seemed like it was not going to be. It was like the child, and then they're going to send it off to whatever for Jedi training and possibly because it's just weird. He's 50 years old and he's an that's just weird.
That's young for the.
See Money in the chat says that was the Full House song. I blame that on 3-Bit. He started it.
Oh yeah. It's
It's
a Family Matters one.
I
was like-
wow. Yeah, that's
Ability, the milkman, the paper ball. That's
the
Family.
evening TV. It's Full House. That's Full House.
Oh,
yeah.
that is Full House.
Oh
What
god.
was the Family Matters one?
Family Matters song.
Was it,
Somebody give me the line so we could get this right because I can't.
Like
get it
as
in my
soon
head.
as someone says it, I bet you I'll have it, but I can't. Full House was in my head. Someone say one lyric in the chat.
Spartan says no, that was Family Matters. I don't know. There's a debate. Is that
Was
Family
it?
Matters or is that Full House? No, I feel like that's Full
No.
House.
Why don't you just type it and watch the theme?
That'd be cheating, Psycho.
Because
We
we'll
don't
get
cheat.
copyright
Okay.
claimed for the theme song.
Oh yeah,
you
that
don't
too.
you don't play it.
What? How am I gonna know if it's what it
Look up
is?
the-
I
Oh
see-
yeah.
Psycho, I sing it so well that they're gonna think it's the the people, so we don't want that.
All right, here's the lyrics to the Family Matters. It's a rare
Mutant.
condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. and love and tradition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Well, there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. Cause all I see is a tower of dreams. Real love bursting out of every seam. As days go by. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah, that one. Okay. Got it.
Anyway, yeah, but Ahsoka's the best Star Wars show they've made so far.
That's it. That's
What's
the
this?
theme.
I was gonna say, is this before Jasper's time? But Jasper's time is basically my time. So
right.
Yeah, Ahsoka really rewards you if you've watched Rebels. If you watch Rebels and then watch Ahsoka, like it's like it's just season 5 or 6 or whatever of Rebels, but live action now. It's amazing.
I want to watch it. I mean, I'm kind of watching it right now, but I'm distracted.
Yeah, and whatever happened to predictability is Full House. It sounds like the same song though.
Wow, they do kind of sound. No wonder, like freaking.
Yeah,
that was the same song. Huh? What do you know?
Kevin Baldwin says that was great, guys. Just great. All right, don't question your Full House knowledge. Yeah,
yeah,
sure. What's going on with FunPop? I don't know. We're singing TV show theme songs.
But yeah, baby Grogu or baby
Grogu.
the
Baby
baby
Yoda.
the child.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna
Grogu.
say. Yeah, go
They
ahead.
that thing it should not get so much airtime, but kids love it. But to me, I mean, it's fine. It's not like
Mandalorian's no longer a bounty hunter. He's just a fucking sad father.
Yeah, but it's not as bad. It's Grogu is better than Jar Jar Binks all day, every day. I will say that.
Yeah, but Jar Jar Binks was very limited in appearance as just one movie.
He was annoying as fuck.
Right.
And that
but like the thing is, you got 3 seasons of Grogu now, right? So I don't mind Grogu necessarily, but it has like became this like, you know,
let's save the fucking baby.
Yeah, I love this creature. Yeah, no, I get it. It's like everything's about that instead of anything else. But
I'm probably the only one that didn't care, and I was like, oh, cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
But in Mandalorian season 3, what I liked about the last season was they did focus more on Mandalore, which I feel like has been hindered by Grogu. So I do agree with that. But like
that's why season 3 was the best season, is because they actually started focusing on Mandalorian shit and like actually bounty hunting.
When I saw Grogu doing the Mandalorian training, I just thought that was stupid. I gotta admit, like him did this like battle against this other kid, and it's like kind of like face off against this other kid, and it's like
where he shot the stupid darts.
And I'm like, oh god, the whole thing was just like, come on, really? Do we have to do this? Like, can't you just like insinuate that he trained? We have to show this like weird little puppet trying to do this stuff. Anyway, it was fine. It was fine.
Would be upset.
If I had Grogu, honestly, the most thing
you would kick him off the fucking ship in space.
I would want to kick him on a low gravity planet.
Space him.
I want to kick him, but he would just force pull his way back.
No,
he'd probably force choke you.
You wait for him to get up in the little droid pod, and you just pop the latch, and then he's gone.
Yeah, just take off in space and hit the eject.
Wow, y'all not gonna do Grogu like that?
Just to open the lid. That's fucking
Leave
great.
Grogu alone.
Go to jump speed. Go to light speed.
Oh, here, Grogu! I made this perfectly safe.
I guess that wouldn't matter
here.
because Leia can fucking fly in space as a stupid non-trained Jedi, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, Star-Lord can too.
You guys are banned.
Star-Lord survives. Well, he's a half god, though.
See, that problem was the whole freaking The Last Jedi ruined the storytelling. So what Last Jedi should have had been was the Leia Leia showing that she was trained in the Jedi arts with Luke. And they kind of gave us a snippet at the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And so it was like whatever Brian was thinking, and even now, what's his name? Fucking Mark Hamill was like, everything that I read was like, this is not Luke Skywalker, but he's the director, so but Luke Skywalker is not my character. I don't own him,
Yeah.
so I'm just playing him. So he got it. He knew what was going to happen. But again, here's the upper epsilon. Like, no, this is what we need. No, that's not what we want. We've never asked for any of this shit. What we wanted, you guys could have really done it. I did. Episode 7. Sorry, I did not like the whole
entire
fucking
movie. Yeah.
No, the whole premise of another Death Star. Like, get away from that.
Oh,
You
Seth, I
don't
thought you
need
meant last
that.
show. Yeah.
that's you don't need that. You could have gone so much you could have done things so much different. But here we are with here's Death Star Part 2 or 3.
You're 3.
Yeah.
Here we are back again. It's even bigger.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I actually agree with that.
That part was just so
But Ahsoka, Psycho, how you feeling about it?
I'm loving it. I'm fucking loving it. I finished episode 3.
You
watched
McDonald's
half.
right now?
Huh?
Yeah.
No.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving
I'm
it.
loving it.
Avenue.
Yeah. I got about halfway into episode 4 before the show. Holy crap! It's just really good. Great storytelling.
How many
just-
episodes is it going to be? Is it 6 or 8? Because they've started
I'm
doing
hoping
those like
8.
6-episode things a lot of times on Disney Plus. It's like on
'cause
Marvel,
that-
at least they did.
Marvel. So far with Star Wars, it's been 8 or more.
Mm-hmm.
So Marvel has been less because I think of the high, because a lot of VFX. So I think Star Wars, they can do practical stuff.
8 episodes.
8,
So,
right on.
So yeah,
That's good
So
enough.
it's not bad.
I like 8 to 10 episodes on a season. I don't like less than that. You know, I don't really like more than that. You know,
yeah, it depends on the show, really. Like
Mhm.
Game of
One
Thrones,
of
really, it needed the long, many episodes in the season to kind of
Yeah.
pan out that story. But nor here nor there. But yeah, so far I'm liking it a lot. Again, watch Rebels if you want to kind of get the backstory of what's going on here.
Yeah, I never watched that.
I mean, it picks up like the ending of Rebels is like heavily talked about in this show. So.
Right. I saw like
Yes.
the mural on the wall behind the guy in the first episode, right? Like it showed the cartoon
Mhm.
versions of them pretty much. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why I was like, oh, this must be from that. Cause he said the word rebels also. And, but you know, I'm not really familiar with the characters and stuff, but I like the characters that they're introducing here. So, I don't know who the guy is that they're looking for, Ezra, you know, I'm guessing that he's from Rebels. Also,
Yeah, he was the Jedi that Kanan, I think was his name. But Kanan was a Jedi that survived Order 66 and then trained Ezra as his Padawan or whatever. And then Ezra, I guess, something happened at the end of Rebels where Ezra's missing.
okay.
Hmm.
And now the inspiration is to find Ezra, pretty much for them, and also,
No,
well, in the first episode that for Sabine, anyway, it's
she
it's
wants
Sabine
to
Wren,
find
right?
him. Yeah, we don't want to mess it up for 3-bit. She wants to find Ezra.
Right, that's the her inspiration, right? Is to find Ezra.
Okay, spoil me away.
But he died.
I'll forget everything you said.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I don't want to talk about. I mean, it's like kind of hard to talk about it because it's like Rebels is like 5 years old, so it's like, can you talk about the ending to that? But then it leads into Ahsoka, so it's like
I mean, I've seen Rebels. It's just been a long time, so I forgot a lot. But go ahead, spoil it. I can put a part of my
Well,
brain where I
Psycho
can
just
forget.
did, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Psycho. It's all right.
Yeah.
well, I
forgot
don't
what he
think he's
said.
going to be dead anymore. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I think they're
You
gonna-
mean on Rebels he died?
There was an accident in hyperspace.
Okay. So they're pulling a Darth Maul
Yeah.
situation potentially or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. So I guess not too much.
He's
spoil.
definitely not the new
I-
Darth Vader.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
I just don't want a spoiler on this because I actually want to know what happens in episode 2. You know, but the inspiration is to find that guy for Sabine,
Yeah.
and and then
she's Mandalorian,
and who was also trained as a Jedi and stopped, right? And Ahsoka is was her master before she left, I guess, and didn't follow the Jedi path anymore as well, or whatever the story goes, right? But the yeah, it's an interesting story so far. I'm really digging it. I want to see where this one goes for sure because it has me intrigued. Besides that, Disney Plus has had a lot of hits or misses. Like Invasion is okay. It's just a little boring, you know.
Yeah, there was like 6 episodes of filler, and the show was 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it was like. That could have been one episode that entire fucking season.
We're going back and watching Punisher for the old Netflix Punisher with John Barenthal. I loved Daredevil, but I never went and watched the Punisher show.
Freaking love it.
And
that was like one of their better shows.
I know it was, and like it was like for some reason just never did it. So me and Kate are actually watching that. We were looking for another show to watch, so we're like a few episodes in, and it's getting really good.
Yeah,
I hope they do more with that character, but we'll see. You know,
what episode? What show? I'm sorry,
Punisher.
I hope they don't freaking Disney fight Deadpool,
supposedly Deadpool's gonna be pretty hardcore, but we'll see.
which is great.
Well, it's also it's delayed right now.
Yeah, because of
Like
the strike.
what's those first images?
Yeah,
that was
everything
like
is
day one on set, and then it's like the next day there was a strike. So
yeah.
Okay.
Also, the other thing I watched, I don't know if any of y'all have seen this, but I caught up on it last night. Is TMNT Mutant Mayhem?
Yeah,
is that
I've
at
been,
theaters
I
only?
really want to see that.
It became available to buy at home. It'll hit Paramount Plus
Oh.
probably in a week or two. But yeah, I watched it at home in my room. So there's
Cool. How'd you like the style and everything? It looked like kind of Spider-Verse-y, kind of cool, unique.
yeah, I feel like a part of me I really like the style, but I feel like they're just copying like because Spider-Verse was popular, they're trying to copy that vibe, right?
Mhm.
At times it was distracting, and I wish it was more like just less
Like the regular.
less artsy. Sometimes like the sky looks like artsy, and there's so many crooked lines everywhere because it's the style of it. It's like, okay, I get it. They're going for the comic look, which is cool, you know, but like it doesn't necessarily need to be that way all the time. However, story wise, I thought it was really cool. My favorite thing about TMNT Mutant Mayhem was the turtles. Like the personality and the style and the art for them and the way they acted and played off of each other was perfect, right? Like this was like the best representation of them, that like the characters that I've seen in a long time, since like the original cartoons and like the original movies from way back in the day. So I loved the movie for that aspect. The issue I had was with the villains.
Mm.
And
Is it
that
the
whole
Foot Clan?
no, it was a bunch of like mutants and stuff. Superfly, which was Ice Cube, played the voice of Superfly, so that was pretty interesting. The April O'Neil, I really liked her in it as well, as she plays like a younger version of April, like she's still in high school, so there's a little bit different thing going on there. The voice actress that plays April O'Neil is the girl that's in The Bear, as the sous chef in The Bear. If anybody watches The Bear, that's an amazing show on Hulu.
Yeah.
And she does a great job voicing April there because her
One
character's
who-
great.
Did you watch the whole thing of Bear?
Yeah, we're at finished season 2 so far.
Was she the one who like left for a little bit because that freak out part that they had in the
yeah. It's the sous chef, the main girl that's in it, like
Okay,
where she's like helping him do the whole restaurant and stuff.
Yeah.
She left at the end, or because of the freak out, and then they were finding that money.
Then he talked to her coming back to start the
so, and then she comes back and okay.
That's the voice actress for April, and she did a fantastic job. Like as a character, it's a different take on April than we've seen before because of like it's younger. You know, she's got like insecure about things because of stuff that's happened to her in the past and stuff like that in high school. But like she still has that journalism aspect to her and stuff, which is really cool. The Turtles, I like the story they have and they told there. I'm not like Jackie Chan played Master Splinter, which he was hilarious.
Oh.
And I loved the voice and the take on the personality. But what I didn't love was some of the backstory because I don't know what the original, I don't remember original backstory was. I feel like it was always that like Master Splinter was like the pet rat of Shredder or whatever back in the day. And then, you know what I mean? That's how we learned how to do all that stuff. Instead, they changed the whole thing of how all the turtles learn all their stuff, right? And Splinter does. But I guess the action was great with the animations of all the combat. I like the personalities of all the
Were they
main
already
heroes.
turtles, or did it show them becoming turtles?
They were baby
Like,
turtles, and
so it showed them like getting the goo on them or whatever.
yeah.
Or okay.
And it's like in a flashback type thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
I was just wasn't sure if it was like they were already Ninja Turtles when the movie started, or if it was like
it's kind of like they are, but they go back and they kind of tell the story, right? There's a part in it where like that is explained, and this is more of an origin story than any other Ninja Turtles movie I've seen in certain ways as well, because it goes deeper, even though there's different kind of story that they're telling. But my least favorite thing is the villains, because I think they just like changed that too much for a little bit of a feely good type thing here. As far as how the art style was and stuff, I feel like they could have gone like more serious toned with some of the characters on the villain side, instead of they're kind of goofy and not too like threatening or anything like that. So there's aspects I didn't like about it, but overall, the turtles were the best part, and that's the most important thing. The voice actors that played the turtles killed it. They killed it. Loved them. Absolutely loved them. They were fantastic. I looked them all up, and I'd never heard of any of them before. Like, they're just
Cool.
some
I like when that happens.
random kids and stuff, that they found to do it. But they did an awesome job. I absolutely love that. So what? And I think there's probably going to be a sequel as well. No spoilers.
Kind of how they ended it.
Yeah, just how they ended it. You feel like there's probably going to be a sequel to it. But as far as like where I'd hold it up to Spider-Verse, like I haven't seen the second Spider-Verse movie yet. That's next up for me.
So good.
I really like the first Spider-Verse movie, but I feel like the animation was done better a little bit in that movie than the Turtles movie. It kind of works better, I feel like. And I just gotta say, I would love a good, serious, dark take on the Turtles, right? And this, I was hoping would be kind of somewhat middle ground there, but still, that doesn't get there. It's more of like feely good stuff.
You thought this would be darker?
The animation is like led to the possibility that they could go a little bit deeper with the story and stuff.
Well, I feel like since it's more like they're like almost younger teenagers, like they're like actual teenagers in this movie, right? So it's like
they could have gone a little bit deeper with some of the stuff that they did that would have had more of an impact. Instead, they kept it a little too light with a lot of the mood. But it's funny. It's more of a comedy, I feel like.
I think if we ever get The Last Ronin, like a show from that, I know we're getting the game, that will be dark and gritty because of the events of what happens if you read the graphic novel or not. But yeah, that's one game I'm really fucking excited about.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if they can get that out, because was it Embracer?
Yeah.
Was that Embracer? Oh.
Come on, Xbox, Microsoft.
I'm surprised you guys
save them.
haven't seen freaking Spider-Verse.
I haven't.
Is that on
It wasn't
Netflix?
interesting.
Not yet. You have to buy it.
I like
right
the
now.
first one. The first
Or
one
rent
was
it.
good, 3-bit.
This
But
is
this one didn't like.
The trailers didn't do anything for me on this one.
the trailers do not do the movie justice, but
Yeah.
the freaking
I don't
movie,
want to see 1,000 Spider-Men. Like I just don't I don't know.
I get the Spider-Verse. I get that. I get what we're trying to go with. I just gotta wait for it to come out on Disney so I can watch it.
You guys are.
I can't.
I'm sure I'm gonna like it. I liked this first Spider-Verse movie, but it wasn't like, oh my god, that's my favorite Spider-Man thing ever. It's just like it was a cool Spider-Man thing. You know,
Yeah.
I can't. I wish you guys could see my eyeballs and see what I saw at the theater. And just be like, bam.
Well, you're into animation and art and drawing and stuff, so you're looking at these things at a different.
I know Miles
level
Morales dies.
A lot of us.
Maybe. I guess like it was just funny. It was just well done.
That's not an actual spoiler, right? Like you don't want to.
No.
Okay.
Or was
I didn't even hear what he said.
No, Psycho.
I said Miles Morales dies.
Oh.
But not really. I know who dies, but don't say anything.
Oh, gee, stop! You can't say the spoilers, man.
I didn't say who died.
Oh, no, we don't even need to know anybody died.
That's our fault.
I don't know who died.
Or if anybody died.
Yeah. It was Spider-Ham. He got cooked. They wanted bacon.
Spider-Pig?
Spider-Pig is bacon.
Just go see the movie. I'm not saying nothing about it. You guys are crazy that you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I'm glad FunPop is back because that's now your guys' homework is to watch.
I cared more about watching Transformers and TMNT than I did Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse is way better than probably both of those.
There was something else that came out alongside that, wasn't there? Like, wasn't
Flash?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I went to go see Flash instead of Spider-Verse too.
I saw the Flash too.
Oh yeah,
Spider-Verse.
You too.
Yeah,
you're guilty just as well.
I watched.
And then
Flash.
the next week, I went to see like Indiana Jones or whatever it was.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw both of those.
Were you guys happy with your Indiana Jones and your Flash?
I felt like I was more compelled to see them, but like then I am the.
But did you walk away satisfied in theater? Your popcorn and all that?
I don't go off on the animated superhero stuff too much. Like, it's cool. I like it, but I would rather watch like if this was like an actual Spider-Man movie that actually mattered, right?
Yeah, then I would go see it.
Then I would go see it. But this is like this little spin-off thing that's animated, and for the art.
This is like one of those movies you would see in like the DVD section, like in a store that just goes straight to DVD, and you pick it up that way.
Yeah, but like
not go to
the Turtles, like I gotta, Turtles, I gotta take what I can get. You know what I mean? There's like it's rare that we get a Ninja Turtles movie. Like we're gonna get live action Spider-Man.
Sony will remake it. They'll re-release Spider-Verse. So.
Yeah, you guys just listen. I don't even know what to say to you guys. First off, animation, just because something is animated doesn't mean it doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't matter to the MCU.
I will say
that's what I mean.
I will say the CGI in the Flash sucked royal donkey dick.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah,
that was so
Transformers CGI was fucking shit.
Yeah,
the show was a Flash.
Transformers are usually pretty good. The new one, I didn't see the
CGI.
The new one
was
the new Transformers movie. The CGI in it was so bad, like you could spot it almost every scene. It's like,
I like the it was Gen 1 Transformers.
Yeah.
I like that aspect, but that was about I did like how
it was fun and stupid, but
the dude got the robot suit, kind of like in the 1985 movie.
Is Michael Bay still doing it?
No,
I think his name's like still on it, but
he's a producer. He's a producer. He's not the director.
They're just kind of like using some. They're not so. Optimus Prime is a Peterbilt and not a Freightliner. So that's things like that they're doing is great. Bumblebee is the Camaro for some reason. Because of Michael Bay, but yeah. It is.
It's because of GM. It's why the deal they have marketing deals with the car companies and stuff for the Transformers, which I get, but it's stupid. The Transformers movie was cool. Like I didn't mind it at all. It was fun. It's a popcorn movie, Dusty. Right? But and when I say it didn't matter, what I'm talking about is a story to the MCU, like the ongoing story that the MCU has. Like Spider-Man has a huge impact. Like these other things are not really in universe. You know,
Mhm.
they're
Call
like,
him out, Cat. Call him
Yeah.
out.
I will say DC, like what Dusty said, DC animated movies are a billion times better than
Yeah.
what the movies are, and they should, like, I don't know, see what they're doing right and kind of fucking apply it to the movies.
Oh, you mean
because-
telling the stories that people actually care about in the DC universe? Wow, shocker that people would actually want to watch that.
Yeah, like I like. See, I'm a Snyder fan, so Snyderverse is all. I love Snyderverse. This new shit, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just like, okay, backstory. If you're new to the channel, backstory. Wonder Woman 1984 is what started FunPop. So that just tells you everything. All right.
Yeah, we couldn't
Yeah,
stop
we
talking
have
about
to
how like horrible the
that movie was.
And then it's still continuing with the Flash being the worst DC movie ever made.
I gotta say, if they had a different person playing Flash that wasn't annoying as fuck the entire movie you're watching, then it had a chance to be better, because there's a lot of elements to the movie that were pretty cool that I didn't mind that I liked.
Yeah.
But like the problem is the main person that is playing the main character that's in every scene is literally annoying to watch because they are playing the character that you want to see portrayed like in a certain way, like so horribly that it just ruins every scene that they're in, right? And especially the whole like two of them is even fucking worse. Like you can't, one of them is annoying enough, right? Because it's just like, wait,
well,
but then you got two of them, it's like double the annoying. Like, holy shit, like the laugh, that whole thing in the damn movie is like, shut up, man. You're supposed to be the Flash. I don't care if you're a younger idiot version of the Flash. The regular Flash is acting like an idiot too. So like, just both fuck off. Go get Grant Gustin or somebody else to replace you, so that way we can actually sit here and enjoy the movie, because everything else is pretty cool, right? Just
some of the stuff he was doing, like I actually like I like Supergirl. I like some of what Batman was doing. That was pretty cool. Like it had standouts in the movie, but the CGI was so awful, and the story was like, it was okay. It took moments from Flashpoint, but it completely changed it, and
it made the Flashpoint worse.
Yeah, they like.
Yeah, because
it was just bad.
If they brought Flashpoint and they made I was hoping that Michael Keaton was gonna be Thomas Wayne.
Well, I knew they wouldn't do that because, like,
I know, but I wanted that though, Jasper. Okay, I wanted the freaking Martha Wayne to be the fucking Joker, and Thomas Wayne to be Batman, and like he's using, he's like the vigilante, like don't give a fuck, he's gonna shoot you, and then the Flash is like, what the fuck did I just do? I mean that shit.
Yeah, that storyline was cool.
And then it's like this. What is this mysterious black thing with purple fucking lights in the multiverse? What is that? And then you find out what it is, and it's like, really? Really? This is what it was breaking. If this was happening, then the multiverse would have been fucked a long time ago. So what is all this?
I did like Supergirl, but like now it's like it ended up being pointless, right?
Yeah.
I like the actress that played Supergirl. Like I think she did a great job, and like I was like, oh yeah, that was a cool take on that character, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of this character because I think she portrayed it really good and stuff. But then it's like after the movie's over, it's like, well, I guess we're not going to get that. You know what I mean? And
because it didn't matter at the end.
I loved Michael Keaton too, like as Batman again. That was awesome. Like he was a highlight.
I like the risk the movie did take with kind of. I know that's saying like a lot of the story I didn't like and stuff like that, but in terms of what the Flash did with his powers and kind of like, I thought that was kind of risky, and they did some creative things there. It looked terrible, but I thought like some of that stuff was pretty cool. If I were to say a pro of the movie, I think it was still like up there with Wonder Woman 84 in terms of how terrible it was and why we started this channel in this show in the first place. Wonder Woman. There's something about Wonder Woman that still irks me to this day.
Well,
so that will
I'll
still be
tell
number
you,
one.
in Wonder Woman 1984, like I love Pedro Pascal. Like I think he's a great actor. Like Mandalorian, he's so many different things. He was Joel. You know, I didn't really care for that show too much anyway. But like he does a lot of great things, right? But his villain in 1984 was horrible. Like it was so annoying.
Like she was flat too. A lot of her line delivery was just like terrible in that movie as well.
It just I don't know. The direction of it wasn't good. I think
it was awful.
Does anyone watch Blue Beetle? Because that movie looked like dog shit from the trailer.
Yeah, but people are liking
people actually like it.
Yeah,
I know people. It seemed like it's doing good, but the trailer looked like complete garbage.
I haven't seen it yet because honestly, I don't really care about the Blue Beetle character at all, and I don't know why I need to. So
I mean, it's just it's a new character. I get, you know, like, I don't know if it's gonna hold. If it's decent, then you know, cool. But if it's not, then they're just still heading in the wrong direction. Like seriously, straight up, the Flash, how it all was and everything, really, all it set up was we're changing the entire DC universe. So this movie is just there to, you know, kind of be like, oh, that's why we have a different Superman and a different Aquaman and a different Wonder Woman and a different.
So when they
Flash.
when they shit on the bed and have a public trial in real life, we can get a replacement actor. Yay.
Yeah. That's what that movie was about.
I feel like we just like it would have been so much
lame.
It would have been so much better if I feel like a lot of the stuff in the movie was nailed, but the main component of it is the person playing the lead character ruins everything. Just how they're portraying the lead character, and like the fact, but that's a WB and DC's fault.
The Flash has never been good in the movies. Like even in like Justice League and stuff, like he wasn't even like the character was shit
in the Snyder cut. He had redeeming qualities at the end that gave me hope, right?
Yeah.
In the Snyder cut, it gave me hope. And then this movie just
Zack Snyder
shat all over the hope that I had after the end of Snyder cut.
Because they fucking shot a lot of it, and it fucking turned into this hot garbage that we got. Because it really, if they wanted to develop the Flash movie, they should have used him going back to see how fucking idiotic he was, and then act and be more mature and be like, you know what, my actions did this, my actions did that. I need to fix what I did. And they kind of did that with the Flash, but it's just like they did so much shit, because that scene when he went back to the past to kind of stop it, that scene, because I won't say it because some people haven't watched it, was moving. But it was like, you guys have like great moments like this, but then like, what was I watching for an hour?
The fact that they ever chose this actor to play the Flash in the first place always baffled me. Like it just,
I mean, it's the perfect fit. He had a criminal record, kidnapping, and he's fit in the DC universe.
Even like originally for the Justice League and stuff, like I just never understood that like the fit with the personality. Like it's like they didn't see they wanted, like, I don't know. It's like
I would have rather watched a Cyborg movie, the Cyborg from the Justice League, than the fucking Flash from the fucking.
Cyborg was fucking awesome in Justice League, especially.
Cyborg was, but he actually called people. Yeah, he called people out.
But he got like issues with DC though, and WB, like the actor.
Yeah, but who hasn't?
The way they handled it was terrible.
Right? No, like, I'm saying I'm blaming them, not him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so we're not gonna see that probably. And WB and DC always fuck this stuff up. It's like they choose the wrong people, and they don't utilize the right people that they've chosen. You know what I mean?
And then they made an entire fucking Batgirl movie, and it's like 90% done, and they only showed us the people that were in the fucking movie, and they're never putting it out. It's like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Supposedly liked it, I think.
Yeah.
Even though they said it was, even though WB said it was gonna be trash or whatever. That's why they
Yeah.
canceled it. But like supposedly the audience reaction was pretty positive.
I just feel like it's
What,
like
the
that's
Batgirl?
the
Yeah.
frustrating thing about DC is their lack of I mean basically what's happening behind the scenes. They don't have a
Their
cohesive
pulse
vision.
on the median. I mean, it's like they. Don't even get me down this rabbit hole.
I mean, with DC, it's the basically cohesive of vision. Like they have different opinions on how they should move forward, and we'll see. I think Blue Beetle's technically supposed to be the first.
I don't know. I think Blue Beetle was in the work before James Gunn was officially.
That was one of the ones that was.
But he said he's gonna kind of attach that to.
Yeah, he's put it as the character in the universe that he's making now, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Marvel. The thing with Marvel is they kind of put themselves in this corner where they made really good movies for like 10 years, and now they're trying to make their next phase of characters that people really cared about, and they're trying to get people to care about other parts of the universe where people are just like, I don't really care.
Marvel's
show me Iron
problem
Man
right now is that
It's
Phase
slow
4 is just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like they
They're
haven't shown us
building
any reason to.
Well, they're building a lot of so Marvel. If we're jumping off DC, Marvel's just one of those. They're slow burning the character stories, because when Secret Invasion, what the fuck was that? Nothing that I watched. I don't know if you guys saw it or not.
Yeah,
I watched the whole thing.
What a letdown!
I'm like, what the fuck was this? Like, this was not what I expected Secret Invasion to be. It could have been so fucking on the grander scale, and we got this shit. Like, I don't know. It's just a slow burn with Marvel for people. At least with the Infinity Saga, you had Iron Man, you had Thor,
And they there was an overall sense that you knew that there was something coming. Whereas like with Marvel, they'll tease it in one movie, and then like for the next 5 movies, there's nothing to like even connect that. So it's like
you had 3 great characters. So the leading up to the Infinity Saga, you had 3 great characters. You had Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and then it was the Avengers, and then you had other movies that kind of built on that. They have to tell so much character story. They introduce so many characters that
they're doing not as good a job of building upon the other movies either. It's like there's too many random stories that don't really interconnect. Like the Eternals,
it's a web. It's a web of what's going on.
A lot of people didn't really like the Eternals. I didn't mind it as much because I felt like it could have.
The Eternals was okay.
It was a solid movie. I felt like, and where it ended, there was this could go some really crazy places if you really thought about it, right? But
never touched on it again,
and they never touched it again so far. And it's been a couple years.
Just a giant fucking celestial in the middle of the ocean. Nah, we're not gonna mention it.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? They haven't touched too much on how Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness ended either, or Spider-Man ended as well, right? There's a lot of it's been a long time now. It's it's all kind of hanging there, and they're releasing other things and doing other things that don't tackle those
nothing
things.
to deal with it. Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of weird, and I feel like part of it's because they want to do their standalone shows and they don't want to have a lot of things have as much impact. But that was what made Phase the first saga so special, is everything had an impact on the other thing. And here it's we're losing a lot of that, where what impact does it have? And when we think it's going to have a big impact, they never touch on it again. So does it or does it not? Because at some point we need the answers for what we saw a couple years ago, right?
It's they're trying to do this multiverse timeline, and it feels like Dark Avengers, and then you got Thunderbolt Ross, so you got those characters. So we're getting a Red Hulk. Are we not getting a Red Hulk? Is the Red Hulk the way they can have the Incredible Hulk in the Marvel universe.
No, you got She-Hulk. You get a season 2 of that. It's coming out.
Don't even go with that bullshit.
What can we rank? Can we rank the Marvel shows so far? Like,
Yeah,
for
Loki number 1.
Loki's number
Loki
one.
definitely number one.
Where I loved Moon
I have
Knight.
to see it. I have to remind myself some of the shows.
I would say.
Moon Knight was interesting. It was a lot better.
But again, it's like it's one of those shows where it's like, what does this have to do with anything?
Right, I agree with that, but I feel like it was a really fun watch. Still, you know what I mean? Like I was engaged every episode, and it told a really good story, and it left off at an interesting place too. And where that fits in with everything, like who knows? But as a show, I thought it was really well done. I thought Oscar Isaac's his name, right? I thought he did a really good job as a character. WandaVision was fantastic. I thought it started out slow, but it got better.
I think
I can show you the link we could go through.
And that's the thing, the WandaVision, like, because we were thinking,
I love
or at least
WandaVision.
I was thinking that WandaVision's power, what happened during the events, because we saw Photon, aka Captain Marvel, aka Monica Rambeau,
AKA.
Well, because she
Brie
had so
Larson.
many,
I don't know.
she had so many character names in the comics. So her getting mutant powers, going through the force field like that, I was like, holy shit, is Wanda going to do a reverse House of M and introduce mutant powers to people that happened, like the people that was in the that whole WandaVision show? Now, do they have mutant powers because they've been affected, or that's how we're gonna get like the Wolverine and Cyclops and Colossus and Storm? Is that how we're doing it? Because they weren't locals.
We still don't really know
from all over.
We still don't really know what impact that event that happened at the end of WandaVision has had, right? Like even with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, like, which was her follow up in a way to WandaVision, right? Because it took place after that.
Did she die? Did she not die? I mean,
we still don't know what that whole reality blast did. You know what I mean? But we do know that, was it Monica Rambeau character came from that whole events when she went through the thing, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see what all happens from it. I feel like Marvel's in this like middle area right now where things are about to take off.
I feel like they've been there too long, though.
Me too. And I think Marvel, part of the problem is the next movie that we have to look forward to from them is
Captain Marvel.
The Marvels. And and which Miss Marvel was okay. Also,
I like Miss Marvel.
I think the 3 best shows for them has been Hawkeye, Loki,
Hawkeye was
and
great.
The Captain America Winter Soldier show or whatever.
Yeah, that was great too.
I liked
I wasn't a fan
Loki. I actually did like a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The beginning was kind of
I'm not counting Agents. That's
we're talking about
Disney really
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking through all of them. Miss Marvel I did like as well. Hawkeye was fun. Daredevil was the best. Okay, we're talking about Disney Plus, but Daredevil was my favorite. WandaVision I thought was great. Are we restricting Netflix?
Yeah, Disney Plus. Disney Plus. Since Disney's really took over.
Since Disney took over, oh man.
Yeah, because those are not really canon per se.
I feel like they kind of are.
The Netflix stuff is going to be because they brought the Daredevil guy over and stuff.
Yeah, they brought him over, but those stories are going to be canon? We know how Disney, so they're going to show it because we got Golden.
The only one I think people question is canon is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I would argue that's still canon because Phil Coulson's in it. But
yeah, and they said it was still canon.
Yeah,
I think they've tried to walk back on a little bit because they did all that mutant shit in there, and it's like not technically mutants, and they're trying to redo mutants. So
yeah, because they didn't have the rights to mutants at the time. So, man, there's I mean, I really liked.
There's also.
I mean, we both agree that Loki was probably.
So what shows were there? There was Loki. There was WandaVision was the first one, right?
Yeah.
So there's WandaVision,
Yeah,
then there was
that was
Loki.
great.
There was
Then it was Captain America.
Captain
after
America.
Captain
WandaVision.
America.
then there was
Yeah,
Loki.
and I like that too.
So they started
Yeah, so
off
they did
great.
pretty good. Yeah. So what shows have been like
then,
kind of
then they
bad?
had Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, and
Yeah.
and Moon Knight. Miss Marvel
Okay.
didn't do it for me really.
The only
It was okay.
Cool
I
thing
like
about
Miss
that
Marvel.
show
I
was
thought
the
it was good.
ending. The ending of that
Yeah.
show was the best part, and it's like
Yeah.
They
because it
it
sets up stuff. But
yeah, Miss Marvel's kind of like was definitely a lot of backstory of where the bangle came from and the history of the
and they
chick,
changed
it's
the Marvel character quite a bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I did like it. And thinking back
Yes.
to when I was watching it, I did enjoy it, but it kind of fell apart for me at certain episodes, right? Like,
yeah, 'cause she's supposed to be elastic and not, but now she has like this
like magic
Pho-
light or whatever.
Yeah.
photon like ability.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, is that how you're gonna do the whole Miss Marvel?
And now
thing?
she's a mutant. It's like
Yeah, now she's in. Well, we knew she was a mutant because when they towards the end, that whole what 3 seconds of they did the X-Men,
Her
the
f-
1990s X-Men. Nah, 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 nah.
I can't wait till that
Okay.
comes out. That's gonna be.
That's crazy.
X-Men 1997. Yes, please.
that got delayed, but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we got a strike going on in Hollywood. No one wants. They don't want to pay.
Much deserved.
I
Right.
feel like Hawkeye was the best. Like that show was the best origin show that they've had for a character, like a new character.
Yeah, with Haley
That was cool.
Steinfeld's like
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, it was a good origin
Kate
story,
Bishop.
but it was all right. It was all right.
I really liked Hawkeye. You also
Yeah,
had
I like
some,
Hawkeye.
you had some cameos and surprises in that.
Honestly,
show that
there's
really
not a
paid
lot
off.
of shows I did not like. Now that I'm looking
Like
at it,
She-Hulk
besides,
was like there were bits and parts that I liked of She-Hulk.
She-Hulk was
but
the
when-
worst by far.
But it was just like the bad writing. I think it was just really bad writing that.
So do y'all
And then
think
that
it's a problem because the
ending.
last few shows we got are some of the worst, like Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, right? Those are
just those two for me. I mean, the rest
The
were
thing with
pretty good.
She-Hulk though is like, it's not even just the writing. I think what the problem with She-Hulk was, it was just like the only good parts of that was like, oh, you remember this cool thing in Marvel? Here it is. It's in it for 4 seconds. Oh, I remember. It's so cool. They member buried the entire fucking show.
Yeah, and I feel like the
And
ending.
even then, I like She-Hulk. I guess
The-
I'm just opposite of you
the-
guys. I liked most of the shows. I liked Miss Marvel. I kind of liked She-Hulk. I kind of, digged most of the shows. Secret Invasion, I could see the criticism for out of all the shows that we're talking about, just because how I felt like the acting wasn't always there. I felt like
It's not the
plot
acting. The
didn't-
problem with the Secret Invasion was they didn't live up to the potential of that show. Like the risk in the show was never like lived up to. Like you have a million scrolls on Earth that could be anywhere at all times and like take over the entire planet, and we see fucking 4 of them.
I'll tell you my issue with She-Hulk and why I
That's
was
true.
actually enjoying She-Hulk, and I was like, okay, I'm taking this for what it is. It's this kind of show, all that kind of stuff. I thought the girl that played She-Hulk did a great job. I don't remember her name. I think there's some good characters in there. I was kind of enjoying it, but they ruined everything about it in the last episode.
Oh, when they went to attack the Marvel Studios or whatever.
Yeah, they completely destroyed everything about the show in the last episode. And then at the end too, the whole thing that happened with
It's the Kevin Feige robot. No.
with the Hulk, that scene at the end with the Hulk, like in credit scene or whatever. I don't want to.
This is
Yeah.
Scar.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
my son
Oh,
Scar.
that.
What?
That was.
What do you
Yeah.
mean this
So,
is Scar?
Like, just like
what?
the whole the last episode of She-Hulk, just like they just shat on themselves for me. It was just like, okay, we did something pretty cool. We could go somewhere and make this awesome. No, let's just shit all over it and say none of it matters. You know what I mean? That's just pretty much what they did. So I think it was supposed to be for fun and for be funny and all that kind of stuff and be like, oh, that's surprising. Breaking the fourth wall, right? Like never before. But it's like, do I really want that in the MCU to
Eastside
think
Vandal
that
says
everything
that's-
is so fake? you know.
literally the comic.
Yeah,
But
I don't give a shit.
I never read the
would've-
She-Hulk comic, so
If that was the comic, I would have hated the comic too. Like, so I don't know. I get it, you know, but it kind of ruined what could have been a better character take. From
They
him,
also put
but-
some 2022 was when it came out. They put some 2022 right in it. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of other shows coming. I feel like Marvel's in this like weird place right now, where it's like, hopefully the Marvels is great, and things pick up from there.
That's like the one. Like that's one of the things that I don't care about though. Like the Marvels, like it's like that's the one movies I usually skip. Like one of them. So it's like
Yeah, well,
Like,
Captain Marvel was great. I loved the first Captain
I
Marvel
liked that
movie.
movie. I liked it. And this one, I'm like, I'm hoping that it's going to be good, but of late with how Disney's been doing things, I'm just worried that it might not be done well. That it's just going to be people pissed off even more about what is happening with the Marvel universe, and I think if they jump to the next thing, like they bring it out sooner, it could be felt rushed. So they just need to focus on what they need to do, and if they got storytelling, let's get these going. But the strike doesn't help, so who knows?
Yeah.
This could be the end of the fucking Marvel universe.
they need to have like a. They need to have an event that connects all this stuff together. That we've
What
been leading
one
up
big
to, like,
pillar
they
Yeah.
will.
movie? Maybe Marvel's is going to be it. Like, and we have no clue. You know, like
so stupid.
I haven't seen really much
Yeah.
of the story about the Marvels yet. That's really made me think about what this movie is actually going to be about too much, right? And so maybe there's like something there that is going to be a huge surprise. Well, we know that
There-
Nick Fury, Captain Marvel,
And we
Monica
know that
Rambeau,
whenever
and
they use
Miss
their
Marvel.
powers, they switch places somehow.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
there's some space stuff.
Yeah, because we're kind of like going on this, like from what I've heard that this possibly could be like Scarlet Witch is going to be in place of Doctor Doom,
Mhm.
with that whole that storyline. That what is it? Secret Wars? Is it Secret Wars or?
Can we
For
get
what?
Doctor Doom? Like Doctor Doom is such a cool character, and they fucking
Doctor Doom's gonna come when they introduce X-Men. They're gonna probably do it around the same time.
Well, you mean
Because
Fantastic Four?
they're gonna want to do because they're gonna want to do like Secret Invasion.
Well, they got to do another Fantastic Four fucking movie now.
Well, they
too.
already
or
did
not Secret
Secret
Invasion.
Invasion.
Sorry, not Secret Wars. I meant.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
'cause
Like we're
They're
hearing that-
pretty important in that story.
but we're hearing that Wanda is going to be the Doom for Secret Wars, and fucking what's his name? The fucking Doctor Strange is going to be starts with an M, not Magneto.
Mephisto.
No, something else, and like he's like fracturing the timelines and stuff. So it's like a weird thing. They're like not going by the comics, but using the comics people that know about it to kind of like drive this.
Yeah, which is like fair. I mean, they
Yeah,
haven't
just-
followed the comics in a long time. I
Yeah, I
just hope
think
they.
it's just again that problem where I think it's been too long since we've had a follow up to all this stuff that we've got this phase, and it's like they just need to follow up on something, and they haven't done that whatsoever.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this whole Secret Wars thing, like this huge thing, and I'm hoping that that's where they're going because they use multiple timelines to go do this thing. So
Yeah, Secret Wars is the one thing I'm looking forward to seeing, just because what's in that book, and I hope they can actually take what's in the book and use it to their advantage, because there's a lot of cool things in there that they don't have to follow everything, but they
Mhm.
can they can definitely take some things out of that story. Like, for example, Civil War, the Civil War movie was pretty close to the book. Like, they changed some things, but what the core of that book was in that movie. So I hope they do the same thing with Secret Wars, because that's kind of like, I feel like it could really build up to that
Well,
moment.
that's
The
Secret Wars
Black
is supposed to be
Symbiote.
their big like in-game movie again, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, everybody's in that movie.
yeah.
Maybe they'll kill off
X-Men,
all these extra
Avengers.
characters that we don't care about in that movie.
Or
Yeah.
they just go away.
They just say, I've introduced so many damn characters.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, I get it. We're introducing new characters in school. But like maybe sometimes it's a little too much. Like every
Like,
single
was it-
movie introduces like new superheroes.
Like
right?
fucking Shang-Chi came out like 4 fucking years ago. It,
It was
seems like.
fucking
and we haven't
amazing.
Man, I
seen
love
anything about
Shang-Chi.
it.
It
Yeah,
was
what the
amazing.
heck? Shang-Chi was actually great. I freaking love Shang-Chi. And that was Disney, so,
Yeah.
they got some things.
And Eternals too. They tackled like the Black Knight in there and stuff like that. Like there's
Well, that's the supernatural part of Marvel.
Yeah,
So we'll
it's
see
like
the Blade, Black Knight. Where we'll see.
it's just taking too
maybe
long to get to a lot of
Morbius,
the stuff because they're doing
Dracula.
too many different things, right? All at the same time.
Trying to set up a lot. Yeah.
I did like the Halloween special that they had.
The werewolf
The-
thing.
The werewolf one. That was phenomenal.
Oh, that was
I
great,
loved it.
man.
That,
that
was
was
so
fantastic.
freaking good.
I feel like if they want to tell individual little stories about characters and stuff, like that's a great way of doing it, right? Like these MCU shows and stuff that are more like drawn out, like episodes, feel like there's supposed to be more
The
part
problem
of
with
the
that though
universe.
is that it's technically canon and you never see him again. So it's like, what the fuck is this character doing while the world's ending over here? You know, it's like they
yeah,
could be
but
helping.
it's like one little individual type thing, so it doesn't feel as connected. You know, like the MCU shows feel like they're supposed to be really connected to each other, but it's like, are they? Because where are the connections in the story and dialogue of the stuff that's going on? Like you mentioned, like there's the whole Celestial popping out of the ocean, and nobody's said a damn thing about it. Like ever since that happened, you know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
that would be like. Imagine a
That'd be
giant
something.
fucking monster popping out of the ocean that's like literally the size of the planet. Like, I would literally think that would be a huge topic of conversation. You know, I don't know. It just might come up a time or two. Anyway, Alvin with a $5 super chat says, worst thing they can do, in my opinion, is try to do Hickman's Hickman's Secret Wars beat for beat. Can never live up to it. Have to surprise us somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever done a story. To be fair, I don't think they've ever done a story beat for beat.
They twisted it. Like House of M, it was different. Like that, we kind of got that in WandaVision a tad.
Yeah.
But
they're
Dusty
gonna
says government property, the in the ocean. I don't think you can hide that. Like, how does the government even get it?
nothing to see here.
Like, we're just gonna put a blanket over it, like cover it up or something. Like, maybe they get like Wanda to come in and put like a reality spell on it, but
Well,
no, she can't now. She's like not there, so don't know what they can do about it. Anyway, it's interesting. Anyway, this is gonna be where we leave off though for this episode. We've been going at it for about 2.5 hours.
Oh my
First
God.
episode back. Got to catch up on some more stuff. We have more conversations, and go from there. But
So the homework for everyone next week is we got to watch Ahsoka and get caught up on that.
Yeah.
so
No,
we can
screw
actually have
Ahsoka.
discussions about
Watch Spider-Verse. You guys are banned from watching anything till you watch Spider-Verse.
I'm not paying nothing.
I'm not
until it
doing
comes
that.
out.
You give
I don't
me,
wanna
you-
pay
you
for
rip
it.
me it, send me the code. I'll watch it, but I'm not.
yeah, I don't want to pay for
Oh.
it. Like, when does it come to Disney Plus?
It's
I
it's
don't
Sony.
know.
It's
Sony.
Yeah.
Ask freaking Jim Ryan.
That's Sony. So
Yeah.
probably after DVD sales.
This is crazy. I don't. Man.
Because where did Spider-Man, the first Spider-Verse, go to? Did it
That
go
went to
Disney?
Netflix.
So we'll
That's where I
probably
watched
see
it.
Probably where we'll see it. Probably like what, a year after.
I love the first Spider-Verse movie. I just don't care to
Was it
watch
about
the
a
second
year?
one until it's.
I
free.
like this one more than the first one, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
I don't know. The trailers didn't do anything for me on the second one. They lost me. Like all.
They're hiding a lot
Yeah.
in the movie, but I can't talk about it until you guys watch it.
I mean, you could tell me the entire fucking plot. I wouldn't care.
You'd say that until you watch the movie. And you're like, oh gosh, whoa. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you felt like that for the first one, but
Yeah, I know.
I didn't watch the
I
first
know
until, like,
people out there say that
years later.
Spider-Verse 2 was absolutely incredible. It was on my list after TMNT. I just think it's already been so long that it's probably going to hit a streaming service soon. So it's like, why not just wait a little bit longer? Or is it even available to rent for cheap, or do I have to pay like
I think
$20?
it is available now. It's been
If
some
it's
time.
like
so-
$5, I'll do it.
Yeah.
If it's $20, Sony suck a dick.
Yeah, I mean, I bought TMNT to watch it, right?
I think
Yeah.
that should come out to Paramount pretty soon because
Yeah.
they have like a 30 or 45 day like from movies to streaming.
Well,
something like that.
they did the 30-day to buy, so probably 45 to
Yeah,
Paramount Plus.
just when Mav has different shows, because I might be gone this week, just peer pressure the heck out of them and keep saying Spider-Verse, and that is all. That's your guys' homework, because this is crazy that they haven't seen this movie. I thought it was freaking amazing.
Do you want to talk about crazy for
Um,
not seeing movies? Remember, wasn't there like a list of about 100 movies long that are classics that you
I
haven't
watched
seen?
a lot of them, a lot of comedies. I missed a lot of comedies growing up.
Did you ever
So you
watch?
guys-
Did you ever watch Step Brothers?
I watched Step Brothers. I there was a couple I missed though. You guys made me a list a while ago.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of them. I watched like I can't remember. We'll have to look back at the
Like,
list. But
he had like missed so many
I'm gonna
freaking
put my ball
movies.
sack
It
on
was
your drum
insane.
set.
yeah, I actually did miss a lot. So that is fair. That is fair.
Yeah. So if there's just been so much content and so much stuff to do. It's like, and there was a lot of movies coming out around that time too. You know, I saw Little Mermaid twice.
I still haven't seen Little Mermaid. I actually do really want to watch Little Mermaid.
That's
I feel like
fantastic, bro.
Speaking of, we don't get those good comedies like we used to anymore. I feel like
No, we
like,
don't.
No.
There's one
'cause
that a lot
they
of
get
people are
canceled now.
watching and saying is
like
good.
every
that
now
has-
and then one will come out, but
Yeah.
back
You
in the day
sounded
it was
really-
like every couple
really old,
like
Jasper.
months. mean-
You sound really old.
The late '90s to like the early 2000s, it was like fucking gold for
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, it was.
There's one
Yeah.
that's popular right now
Yep.
called No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence in it. I haven't seen it yet, but
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
trending.
kind of a callback.
It's trending in a lot of places. So
Yeah, you can see her.
I haven't seen that yet, Eastside.
That's why it's trending.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, thanks for being here. Psycho, tell everybody where they can find you.
Chat, thank you for coming out. It was a blast. Great conversations in the chat. I know a lot of people were angry at Mav, but it was all right.
They were.
Awesome times. I don't know. Well, Eastside Vandal was disagreeing a lot. So
That happens a lot
It
on
was,
Fun
I was
Pop.
mad at Jasper
Yeah.
for dissing on Starfield.
Yeah.
oh yeah. But yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. You can find me everywhere on social media at Psychonauts 8. Mondays, FSP, 10 o'clock. Now Tuesdays, FunPop at 10, and Xbox Ultimate, 10 o'clock on Fridays. So can't wait. Great times.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Jasper, what about you, bro?
Yo, check it out. Prestige Worldwide. No, it's Lord Jasper on Twitter,
Oats
Lord Master
and
Jasper on
ho.
YouTube. Then Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, all now 10 o'clock with FSP, FunPop, and Xbox Ultimate. And I was going to do a show this Wednesday, but since Starfield like really has my attention, I'll probably push that till next Wednesday and then do a little show. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I do. Check it out.
Yeah. Remember to fix your Xbox, Jasper.
Yeah, I'll try.
What about you, 3-Bit?
Everyone can find me on Twitter at i3bit. I'm occasionally I've been making some trouble lately,
Yeah.
so you guys can check me out. Calling some people out to Starfield shenanigans, but just feel every now and then. I'm very not drama-y, but every now and then I'm just like, you know what, today's drama day. So if you guys want to see that, you can go on my Twitter at i3bit. I'm on this show and FSP on Mondays and Fridays when I can make it. I'll be gone this week because I'm going to a rock concert week thing starting tomorrow.
Who's
So
gonna
I'll
be there?
rocking out. so many bands. It's like 50,
It's going to
60
be like
bands.
50, 60 people you've never heard of, Mav.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Well, you know Evanescence. You know Evanescence.
Oh, Evanescence is gonna be there. That's cool.
Vanilla Ice is gonna be there.
I thought this was a rock
But he's gonna
concert.
be that they have like a rap VIP thing at night.
He did have a rock album where he redid the.
I mean, what the fuck is music genres anymore? They all fucking flip flop. One album fucking pop, the next album.
I'm just trying to
whatever.
think of the people you'll know.
I mean,
like Flyleaf will be there. I don't know if you know Flyleaf.
Rock is dead, bro. Like it's just so dead. There's like none of the new there's no good new bands. Period. They all suck. They all
watch me post clips of this concert. It's packed. It's gonna be thousands and thousands.
The good bands still are like the old school bands from like 90s and 2000s that still like exist somehow and like don't get ever played on the radio. And then like you have all of the rock now is like all fucking like digital produced shit. It's not like rock music, guitar,
it evolved,
and drums
man.
and stuff. Evolved
It was time.
Devolved.
Papa Roach is there. 3 Days Grace is there.
Yeah,
Veil is there.
So we need to introduce more drugs in the country so we can get the more inspirational rock.
3-6 Mafia is there. I don't know. Okay.
The old bands. Yeah, those are great.
Tech 9 is there.
Papa Not Pussy like.
No, Soulja Boy is there. I'm looking at the list.
Yeah, this is a rock concert, he said. So
I mean, I'm just
Soulja Boy, Vanilla Ice.
if I point out the bands that you guys won't know the bands that I know.
No,
so I'm just trying to figure out things that you know.
70s,
festival,
80s,
right?
90s, early 2000s rock. After that, it's not the same.
Is Soulja Boy going to be there selling his game consoles? You should ask him.
He's going to sell it to you. Sorry, that was bad. I don't know. I'm sure he'll be there.
Selling them Amigo?
No, he had like fake Chinese knockoffs of like emulator consoles.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot he did that. Actually, I was thinking about buying it just for funsies, but I didn't. But I mean, you know most of those bands.
Yeah.
Other bands, I'm looking at this list. You probably don't know, but
there's some good ones in there.
Some of my favorite bands. Yeah.
I probably know a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good ones in there.
2 Chainz in there.
They're from the 90s and 2000s. The ones you mentioned
on a boat.
If Dave Matthews was there, Psycho would be all over it.
Yeah. And then for the people in chat, there's a lot of bands I like Beartooth or I See Stars and Bad Omens, and they don't know these bands, so I'm excited for those.
Bad Omens.
Bad Omens is sick. I love that band.
There was people sent me a bunch of suggestions on Twitter like a couple weeks back for rock bands, and I
was part of it. You hated all my suggestions.
Yeah, it was all like digital. So. It's like digital like stuff, you know. Like I don't know, and I don't like.
Oh, Shinedown. Do you like Shinedown?
I'd have to listen. I don't know.
The only thing I know about them is they covered. Was it like? It wasn't Sweet Home Alabama. It was some like Leonard Skinner song I think they covered. It's like everyone's like, that's the best cover of that song ever, or whatever.
Yeah, they kind of feel like a really good country-ish voice. Like,
I might like them. Do they actually play? Do they actually play instruments, or is it all just like drum beats, like from like a digital like tracks?
Yeah, they're kind of older school, so you might like them.
I like guitar, drums. Yeah, like once I hear
it's really about. He's a very good vocalist, I would say. Like he can belch out a good country note.
I feel like there's so many bands that just want to be Linkin Parks. It's like out there. That's what gets annoying. It's like everybody.
They were definitely a blueprint.
Yeah, every suggestion somebody has, I listen to it. It's like, oh, this sounds like Linkin Park. Oh, Linkin Park was great. I liked Linkin Park, but like, not every band has to try and be Linkin Park. You know, I miss the old school. You know. I've been listening to a lot of older, like 80s and 90s stuff and 70s lately.
Well, send me what bands you like later, and I'll see if I can.
I like the Eagles a lot. I like some of the old shit, that old Eagles stuff, like from like the 70s.
Hotel California.
Hotel California, but like In the City, like there's a lot of songs, like bands like that from back in the day. 90s grunge and alternative rock. I used to like Bush a lot. I like Fuel. Metallica I like, which I mean they're not definitely not alternative, but I like Metallica because there's a lot of melody and melodical shit in there. It's like, but like some of all the just over digitized music and just filled in with screaming doesn't do anything for me. It's just annoying.
I love screaming
and not real voices where every voice is just super fake now.
Yeah,
man, that's crazy.
That's why I gave
love
up on music. It's all just fake now.
yeah. I like listening to one of my favorite artists now is Post Malone because he's actually a musician. Like he comes up with interesting melodies and stuff. Anyway,
Do you like? Okay, we'll talk about this later. But like, yeah, I won't even say anything. Otherwise, this will be a long conversation.
Yeah. Anyway,
about music and stuff. But love y'all. Huh?
Did you do your outro or no? I forget.
I mean that's where I'll be this week. So everybody in chat, I'll be rocking out this week. I'll try to post some stuff. And you guys,
Soldier Boy.
if I could sneak in there, I don't know if I think you have to pay for the rappers. All the rappers is like a VIP venue thing. So we'll see. I'll try to see Soldier Boy if I can, and Vanilla Ice and Tech Nine, but all the rockers are in the daytime. It's a 4-day thing, so I'll be there for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, they don't got any cocaine to keep them going through the night anymore.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll have some stuff there, but I'll be camping there, so it'll be interesting.
There'll be a lot of cocaine.
Well, have a good one, guys. Catch us on Thursday for PM in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Ponxel and I probably got a lot to say about Starfield and maybe some Baldur's Gate 3 stuff too, because that's officially launching this week also. But peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Do I even have an outro set up here? I don't know. Anyway, later.